What's going on, everybody? It is Friday, April 30th, 2021. Welcome to Brandon's show. This is Brandon. Hope everybody's doing good out there tonight. We got quite a few people in chat. Ian Adams, Chrissy Heavey, Flat for Life, Gadget Inspector, Squirrel Sniper, Bill G. What's up, Bill? Ian Adams, Brandon Cook. You guys are busy chatting tonight. And many more to come. What's going on, guys? Hope everybody is doing well tonight. Glad to see you here. And we got a few people in Discord. Of course, tonight's Friday Night Fights, which means limited moderation. Very limited moderation. And it's been pretty eventful the last few times, so I expect tonight to be no different. Although I imagine some of our friends are off somewhere else that will not be mentioned. But let's go say hello.
I'm nobody talking tonight or what? Waiting for the show.
What's up, guys?
Hey Brandon, how you doing?
Hey Brandon, yo, my man.
What's up, Elijah? We got Allie B, Jeremy, Crit, C-Stel, Elijah, Jimbo, and the real Bob Dole. What's going on, guys? How are you doing tonight?
I know, but I do a mic check. Can you hear me okay?
You sound like you're a little distant. It sounds a little weird, but
How's that?
yeah, that's a lot better.
Oh, right.
So what's going on, Allie?
Not so much. I probably won't make my last thoughts. I always fall asleep, and I'll wait. I hear you saying last thoughts, and always miss it. So.
Yeah, I always calling
so
you.
Not
I figure,
much.
you probably passed out.
Yeah, I always. Well, you know, it's like fucking 3 o'clock in the morning by the time you finish your show, or 2 o'clock in the morning. So, some of us do work, you know. We don't rely on all these super chats.
Yeah, right.
That was a joke.
Shit.
This is a cover. He gets most of his money from the Illuminati Freemason members that are under him.
Well, that actually, I mean, I don't even really get money anymore. I print it. They give us each a printer, and I have access to the computer. I could just add however much money I want into my bank accounts. So that's one of the perks.
That's a good system. Yeah, it's a good system.
Yeah, exactly.
I just laugh when people say, "Oh, they're in it for the money," and if anybody realizes you can't really make much money on YouTube unless you've got like, I don't know, 20,000-30,000 subscribers, or you've got a good support base or something like that. Maybe with your Patreons or something like that. But you don't earn money on YouTube.
Yeah,
unless you
exactly.
You
exaggerate.
You gotta start doing OnlyFans.
Exaggerate too much.
OnlyFans, yeah, that'd be real popular, I'm sure. Yeah, OnlyFans. Oh boy.
So what's been happening? That was a good wee discussion. I like the discussion you have about the ballers being in there. There's been some quite good talks.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, last night was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was good. Poor Mark was getting laid into though.
Yeah, he put himself out there.
I like Mark. Yeah, well, exactly. I like Mark. I've known Mark for years. He's just, yeah. I like him. I just find it funny how he was getting attacked so much. If you know what I mean, just because he was, saying a few things or whatever. It was just quite funny, the reaction. It was, yeah.
I mean, I was getting pissed because it was just false.
Yeah, but I get it. You know what? I get it, but I just, yeah. I think it's a bit of a strange reaction. Like when it's like the same as when we say something that the ballers get upset about. And they're protecting their beliefs or protecting something, or rather than just let the guy go with it. Well, I don't think anything he was saying was false. I think he's pretty clued up on the logic. I think he's studied it for the last couple of years.
The question being an argument from ignorance thing is false.
Well, it's all about the wording, isn't it? And he was just talking about the certain words that they were using, how it was constructed, not perfectly. Put it that way. I kind of agreed with him a little bit. So.
Chrissy Heavey in chat says if Brandon relied on super chats, he would starve. That is a true story. That would be one sad existence. I promise you that.
Especially with YouTube taking their 25%.
Oh shit! It's like 40 when it's all said and done.
Is it 40 now?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, they take like 25 and taxes and all kinds of other shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like when people say that you know people make money on YouTube and all that kind of stuff, I think it's very rare. I think it's very hard, and it's got even harder. I think it was a bit easier before. I think if you listen to all like the old school, how they were. I don't think they were getting taxed so much.
Oh, they made it harder for sure, and especially when they cut us out of the algorithm. They made it really hard to grow your channel. Seems to be really easy for the ballers, though.
Yeah, I mean, the money's definitely on the baller side here. Not even counting the scams that they pull.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear about that one?
Super chats. Hear about what?
Well, the one with Sean Hufford.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
10 grand, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, but not,
and you know the amount of times they shout us. You know the thing is, I mean, they've for years now that they've gone on about, you know, people just in it for the money. Flat earthers are getting scammed by, you know, like Nathan Oakley and all these, which is a load of shite. It's a load of shite, and then this turns up. They've been scamming for years. There was one with Sean Hufford. He was going to take. He had a GoFundMe so that he could take Anthony Riley to court. This is about 3 years ago, I think. Yeah, about 3 years ago. He was going to take him to court, and he done a GoFundMe. And the court case never happened, and I don't know what happened with the money. I think it was about $1,000 or something. I can't remember, but it was about 3 years ago. So I just laugh when I hear them. You know that it's like, well, that famous saying. I think it was Goebbels or something like that said that, you know, blame your enemy on your own, you know, infractions or indiscretions. You know, blame them for being the trolls or being them. You know, blame the opposition and keep blaming them, kind of thing. So that's basically what they do. They just they're just telling us, if you read into what they're accusing of us or whatever, people that are looking for a bit of truth or whatever, they're actually doing it. You know, there's more scams going on. I can't even remember if there was anybody ever really done a scam in Flat Earth. I'm not sure. Was it?
Let me think if I can think of one.
There was. I think there was one. I know there was one with Ebola. That guy was saying he was going to Antarctica or something like that.
The flight, we talked about that last night too. The flight around Antarctica, or across.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sapien. Yeah, we got corrected.
That's the guy.
He took some money, and somebody said no, he didn't take the money. He paid back every cent. So I don't know.
All right, okay.
He might have got ripped off.
How'd you ever find that out?
Somebody got ripped off. It was a scam somehow.
Yeah. There was a bit, as I say, I think the money did go missing, and it never happened. So
maybe it was Flat Earthers who set that whole thing up. They set up the fake flight and advertised it, and that'd be fantastic.
Oh, brilliant!
God, wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be a classic. I was actually thinking. I'm going to say it now anyway. Like, I had a chat a couple of years ago with Ranty, right? And I talked about. Now I don't know whether he's up to this or not, but I actually talked. We had a conversation about it, and what I said I would have liked to have done was sort of like infiltrate the globe earthers by turning to the globe and you know, leading them on a bit. kind of thing. And then when I first heard, because I heard just by mistake that Ranty had went back to the ball or something, and that was the first thing I could remember, that I remembered, was a conversation we had, because it piqued his interest. I can remember the reaction. So, but as I say, is it?
I've been wondering if they're on guard for that. If they think he
Well,
might
the rumpus is a bit suspicious. I mean, they are a bit suspicious. But the point is with Ranty, he is turning into a bit of a troll, actually. And I had him on there. I had him on the channel. Mine just to find out. I just wanted to have him for a couple of hours and talk away. But he ended up getting threatened by someone in my chat. So he was like, "I'm going. I've had enough." And I was like, "Well."
Somebody threatened him?
So,
like phically threatened him?
Yeah, shells versus shell. Yeah, shells
Oh,
versus shells.
shells. Yeah, those two don't get along.
He said if he's seen him, if you ever seen him, he'd thump him. You better watch out, kind of thing. And it was kind of shitty, I was a bit disappointed because usually my chat's not like that. So even though it's only I get about 10 people in, but they're usually quite pleasant. He was getting drilled or that, but he wasn't getting threatened. He was given a hard time, but so what? But when you start threatening people, that's a kind of
that goes over the line. There's just no need for that.
So I got him for 45 minutes, and that was it. So.
Well, did you find out? Did you get any insights from him? You find out,
No, because I was just starting warming up. I was just getting him to chat away and having just a normal conversation. I got so much abuse for not going hard on him and stuff like that. And I try to explain. It's taken me a few years to calm down. Because if it was about 3 years ago, I would have been. It would have probably lasted about 5 minutes. I would have ended up calling him all sorts of names and stuff like that. So I've because I was brutal in the early days, kind of thing. I was just shouting and bawling and swearing and all kind of things. And then, as I say, shout out Chris F.E. Jackson and SE Montreal. They're very calm, even when getting insulted and stuff like that. So I kind of tried my hardest to be a wee bit more calmer. I just got abuse for that myself. I'm on I don't know if Gary Mabbitt's on. Not Gary Mabbitt. What's his name? Brian Mabbitt or something like that. He's put me on the watch list. I'm on a watch list now.
A watch list? What?
A watch list. He says you're on a watch. Yeah. Because I mean, ever since I've joined this. As I say, I've been accused of being an agent and all this kind of stuff. Not that it bothers me or anything, but no, I just find it funny. And then, I always find it funny because I thought, I got accused by being an agent. I know I'm not an agent, right? And the same people that are accusing me are accusing other people. And I think, well, they're off the mark with me. So why why should I listen to them, when they accuse someone else? You know what I mean? They just run about accusing people of being agents if you don't agree with what they say or you say something or that kind of thing.
You're saying you're not an agent. You're saying you're not an agent, but that's exactly what an agent would say. So. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what an agent would say. But if I was an agent, mate, right, do you think I'd only have 300 odd subscribers?
Yeah, you'd be a pretty effective agent.
I don't promote myself. I don't promote my channel. I hardly, I'm hardly talking now, man. I could have grown my channel. I was, like a few years ago. This is my third channel now. I keep getting pissed off with I'm giving up. I can't be bothered with this flat earth stuff now. It's going nowhere. And I just delete all my videos. This is my third channel, as I say. But I don't care, people can believe what they like, but I wouldn't listen to people that accuse other people of being agents. I find them, I don't know. Yeah, I don't listen to them anyway, so I don't care that if you're an agent, you never get caught. You know what I mean? It's the people, if you remember in the old days, the king always had his little advisors, and if there's any agents there, they never come onto these chats. They talk away on the, they'll have the ear, maybe a Jane Panda, and they'll encourage them, or maybe someone a bit lower down the line, they'll be telling them what to say, kind of thing. They're trained, they're trained in that way, how to extract information. So I don't think they ever show their faces, or you ever see them, kind of thing. They keep themselves hidden out the way and just send their little minions, or encouraging people. Saying, "Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, go over to Brandon's and say to Brandon that." So they never actually do anything themselves. They just send people off, and just to shout and bawl. And even the people that are doing it don't even know their agent, if you know what I mean. So a lot of NLP and a lot of that kind of stuff goes on, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's. Yeah. But anyway, what's the subject for tonight?
Well, it's Friday Night Fights, but I have a feeling that most of our baller friends are over at Cats right now.
All right. What, watching the spooky woo stuff?
No, Cats and Ranty are debating on Cats channel right now.
Oh, debating, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's, yeah. Well, debates never find the truth. You'll never find the truth in a debate, you know what I mean? So it's not really about finding truth when you debate someone, right? It's just who comes up with the best argument. That's all it is, really, isn't it?
That's what it turns into most of the time. Yeah, there's definitely some ego involved. You don't want to look bad,
Yeah, exactly. I think people should, I find it easy to admit when I'm wrong because it throws people off guard because they're not used to it. Because nobody admits when they're wrong, or they'll obfuscate, or they won't answer a direct question and stuff like that. So you can kind of, take people out of their stride if you just say, "Oh yeah, you're right." I've said it loads of times to ballers because whatever.
It does catch you off guard because every once in a while someone will say, "Oh yeah, I agree," and you're like, "Huh? What?"
Yeah, exactly.
And then you think, well, what's the trick? But
yeah, exactly. Do you ever go across the Jim Pandas, Brandon, or anything like that?
Oh yeah.
I think I went across what? I hadn't been across for years. I used to be there, like regular, get my daily dose kind of thing. And then I just stopped. It got a bit, I don't know, a bit creepy over there. And everybody swearing at each other, and I was just abusive, just shouting at people. So fuck, what am I doing here? I knew I was addicted to it, because you get addicted to things like that. Going and you look forward. You're like, all right, you wake up, right, I'm off to James, and that's what I was doing. But then I left, and I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I went on and I'd had a few beers. I thought I just had a live stream. I thought, right, and I'm going over to James, so it was the first time in ages. And all I did was just hurl abuse at them. And I think Jeremy needs an intervention, by the way, because he was actually, I think he's exhibiting signs of Stockholm syndrome over there. I think even told me I was out of order. He was even sticking up for the ballers.
Oh, what the fuck?
Kind of thing. So, yeah, terrible stuff. It's
about what?
That's what I'm saying. I think you need an intervention.
No, what specifically was I sticking up for the baller?
Well, you said I was going too hard on them. You said, "Oh yeah, that was out of order."
Destroying the religion. You got to take it easy on these people. They're going through mental anguish. They need.
Yeah. Whoa.
I'm not saying
coddle, but don't tell me. That's you. You're either whatever. That's no excuse, Jeremy.
I'm
That
not
wasn't
saying
even an
coddle 'em,
answer.
but
That wasn't even an answer, mate. You know what I mean? You just talked about something totally different. You're destroying their religion, so you want to be gentle on them, or what?
I
Is that
mean,
what it's about?
they're going through mental anguish right now, so you don't want to kick them while they're down.
Well, you do actually, and you want to keep kicking them because they've been kicking us for years, man. What's wrong with you?
I know, but we
No.
Nobody
can't.
should be kicking anybody. That's the problem. All this
Yeah.
entertainment value bullshit of kicking each other when we just have a fucking conversation. That's the problem.
No, no conversation with them. You can't have a conversation with them because they'll never. The whole point of their existence is to deny everything that we say. So what's the?
Everybody in
Where's it?
reality is
There is no
denying what we
conversation.
see. 98% of the whole world is denying what we see. Everybody we talk to, I'm supposed to go out here and yell at my mom or get pissed at my mom because she doesn't understand what the hell we're talking about? No. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Right, that's good for you. But that doesn't mean that other people can't do it another way. Who says which way is right and who says which way is wrong?
When it comes down to it, we're all on the same side. Me, you, all the Globers. We're all
No,
on the
we're
same
not.
side.
Don't ever put
if
me on the
these
same side as them.
No, I'm telling you, if
I'm
these
not.
people aren't part of the elite that are controlling the the 1% that own 99% of the stuff, it's really like us versus them. They're the ones that are doing this to us.
What, the ballers?
No.
Well, I try to get along with as much of them as I can, but there are some who are just miserable human beings whose whole existence revolves around trying to make flat earthers feel like shit. Anyway, that's
Yeah,
the way
gaslighting and all that kind of stuff.
There's certain people that are just not even worth talking to, but
There you go. Mark Taylor. I could name a few. Rumpus. We could keep going on and on, a couple of them.
Yeah, I'm thinking like M Stone type of dudes.
Oh God, yes. Please, M Stone.
I won't even give the ones I'm thinking of the satisfaction of naming them. Just think of them in your mind.
Giving them airtime.
You're probably right. I do like to fuck around with these people sometimes, though. They take the shit so seriously.
Yeah, I mean, that's that. Yeah. Oh, I've just passed. Oh, geez.
I mean, just the shit they say to us sometimes in the comments or something, like that they're trying to, oh, you're so stupid, you think the earth's flat. Yeah, like we haven't heard that 500 fucking times already.
I won't even read. I always see you fucking around with the chat trolls. I'm like, I don't know why he does that to himself. I used to do that too, and I'm like, I won't even read anything anymore hardly that's in the chat. It's fucking worthless.
Dude, the chat trolls and gems are the worst. It's just a miserable group of fucking people over there for the most part. There's some good ones. C4, shout out. And a few others.
You're right. C4 is pretty cool. You know what it is? It's a respect line. You can joke around, you can mess with each other, but there has to be a little respect for humankind. So yeah, there's just that.
I mean, let's say we're wrong about the shape of the Earth, and it actually is a floating, spinning, speeding, corkscrewing space ball. Tilted too, don't forget. Let's just say that's true for a minute. What's so bad about being wrong? What the fuck are we doing wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
Who
it's
did
about
we hurt?
Exploring all possibilities, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like you wouldn't tell your kid to stop that imagination or that thought process, or sitting down and thinking and contemplating about it. What's wrong with that? And then being wrong, so what? Why these people so angry at us that just because it shows signs that it's a cult. When you get that reaction.
But it
is though.
Yeah.
No, but that's exactly what it does. You think about it. But look what happened. look what happens when people leave. Look what happened to Ranty, right? Fair enough. I'm not sticking up for the guy or anything like that, right? But he left and all he got was abuse. And I thought, I was like, wow, man, is he not allowed to think what he likes? I've got people that hate him, and I've said, well, why do you hate him? Just because I don't like him. Well, fucking, what's he done to you? I don't think he's ever done anything to anybody, apart from leave the flat earth.
Yeah, right.
Same as Jose as well. I kind of I don't back him anymore. He's an asshole. But when he first done it, I was like, yeah, of course, man. Everybody's got a right to believe things. Christians complain about atheists telling them that God doesn't exist and all that, and getting angry, and yet they would people exhibit the same traits as like what the ballers. Imagine if you were a baller and you left to be in the flat earth, man. It's the same thing. It would be the same kind of reaction for people.
That's happened to a
just the
couple
things
people we've known. Tommy and Bandsaw. Bandsaw was a flat earther, then was a baller, and is now a flat earther again, I think. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, well, he was on Terry. Shout out Bandsaw. Band. I've had some good conversations with him. But he was getting trolled. He went across. I'm not going to mention the name, but there's another channel there, and they're all idiots across there. But he used to literally take the piss out of him, kind of thing. And what do you call that? Gaslight him, shall we say? Kind of thing. So it's not surprising he's went back. I didn't realise he actually went back to the ball. Flat earth, and then went back to the ball. And
no, he's a flat earther
again.
He's flat earth. He's flat.
Oh yeah.
As far as I know.
Yeah. Are we allowed to say flat earther, or is it what?
No, we can say whatever we want. We can call ourselves whatever we want.
That's good, because there's a few people apparently mooching about the place that you're not allowed to mention certain words, and it's not just the person. Maybe most people are thinking about. There's quite a few now that have come out and started complaining about, because they talk about the sun, the moon, stars. Yeah, so fuck, it's got nothing to do with the shape of the earth, but it's still a good conversation. It's exposing a bit of the science, or a bit of how they actually don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, what are we going to do? Sit around and talk every night about how we can't find curvature and
exactly.
The same old shit that Coriolis every fucking night?
Well, look at the conversations happened there last night, and a couple of times that you've just had, no ballers on. There's been some blinding conversations going on, all different subjects. From, I think there was 9/11 was getting mentioned, and all different, just like a plethora. Everybody had a little, and there was no shouting, there was no anger, there was none. It was great listening. I always seem to miss the conversations. With symbolism and all that kind of stuff, and about law and that.
Yeah, I thought those no baller night, the two that we've had so far, have gone really well and been really interesting. I've enjoyed it. There's a certain stress level when you have Rumpus come on, or Jem, or just anybody. It's like you can't have a conversation. You can't explore ideas or really get out what you think without an argument breaking out and having to defend yourself and fend off logical fallacies continually and all that shit. And it gets stressful, and it does build on you, and some people let it get to them, but it's nice just to sit around and chit chat about whatever the hell we want every once in a while.
Yeah, chew the cud and stuff like that. I think that's a great wee balance. I think that's a good thing about, once a week and they're accusing you echo chambers.
I know, that's so funny too.
And when you go over to theirs, it's just an echo chamber. They just sit and talk about the same thing. It's like,
when's the last time you've heard flat earthers have a conversation for more than like half an hour where it didn't turn into an argument? We don't need ballers around to argue with. Trust me.
Oh yeah, we have great arguments.
Yeah.
Or flat, yeah, you know what I mean. But it's like they say we read from the same script, you know, but we don't. You know, we've all got different ideas. Different ideas of how things work and all that, and I think that's the beauty of it, and that's where the good conversations come from. You know,
Absolutely.
so what we lose, you know, and so what we argue now and again, but it's never really vitriolic kind of thing, and then the next day it's forgotten about, kind of near enough.
I mean, can you blame people for wondering what is going on with this place? This is a weird fucking place. This whole thing, being alive, is pretty fucking weird if you just stop and think about it. The whole deal. I know we don't know anything else, but it's just a strange thing. So to wonder what's actually going on is only natural. What scares me is people who think they have all the answers.
Yeah, and then what they'll say is in the same breath, well, science doesn't prove anything, and you're like, well, wait a minute, you've just said you've got the answer. You know, you're sounding very certain about yourself that you've got the answer. But science doesn't prove anything. And you're like, it's like, it's confusing, though, Brandon, and it can confuse people when they say that, right? You know, it's like the ultimate doublespeak. You know, this is a fact, gravity's a fact, but science can't prove anything. And you're like, well, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It's like, it's as if they don't realise. Some of them don't realise what they're saying, but some of them do. You guys have caught rumpus out in the last few times he came on. He was struggling. You could hear it in his voice. He was struggling, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah. He's funny. But you know, you think about it, at the ball model, at the core of it are contradictions that you have to reconcile. Like the fact that it's supposed to be curvature everywhere, and we never have to deal with it at all, and pretty much any way that we can think of besides theoretical ones. That we're spinning, we never see it. We're supposed to be moving, we never feel it, and all we do is see other things move above us. So you have to accept those blatant contradictions that are contrary to your all your experience right from the go. So that should be piece of cake after that to throw a little bit of doublespeak in there, or cognitive dissonance.
Well, you can't rationalize something that's irrational, like their arguments, and then if you do, all of a sudden you're in their conversation, and that's the trick. I think is that they get you into that doublespeak. You're trying to logically justify doublespeak, and it's just not going to work out. Yo, big up Ali B though.
Oh, hey, how you doing, Issa? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I heard you were on, and I figured I'd just hop on over here and say what up. I love having a talk with you, man.
Good stuff, man. Yeah.
And how you doing, Brandon?
Good,
What's up, man?
Good, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I just want to say hi, Issa, man. Great to hear your voice, dude. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, Gio, it feels like it's been a while, brother.
Maybe not a couple of years, but it's been some time. Yeah, it feels like it's been a while.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, I took quite a break for a couple months there. Been working on other stuff, so I wasn't really, involved as much directly. And, but yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard your voice around, man. Yeah, it's good to hear you, brother.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's definitely been nice having Gio around lately, and some others who have joined,
right
Stacy and some other people who haven't always been around that much. So it's nice having you guys here.
So what you been up to, Issa?
I've been chilling, man. Just chilling. What's cracking?
I was listening to you the other night, Samuel Bowditch.
Oh, no kidding.
I remember when you first brought it out. I remember when you first, like, I just studied the guy. The guy was absolutely amazing. He invented so many things, and
Well,
he was like a quoted sailor. Sorry,
dude. Well, right, man, and that's what always got me is and that's where I remember I used to quote Bowditch when because what's so funny is like the flat Earth deniers out there. They're like they're like nobody ever believed that the Earth was flat, dude. And then it's like you go read Nathaniel Bowditch's The American Practical Navigator, and it says in like the opening paragraph, the Babylonians thought that the Earth was flat and they were in a cosmic egg.
Yeah.
So it's like, and this is why I said or opened up with saying like you can't rationalize double speak. You can't but you can recognize when you're in that arena. And when you're in that arena, that's you can really have fun with it. The world is a stage, etc. But you can't like actually try to dissect it and logically deduce anything of value from what to say that in one side of your mouth nobody ever actually believed the Earth is flat, and then to look to the other scholars and they're like, oh yeah, no, historically these people believe the Earth was flat.
Yeah, that is one of the dumbest things they say is people have known the Earth's a ball for thousands of years.
Dude, I remember I was watching some video where they're like, the guy's like, nobody ever believes that the Earth is flat. And it's got a Wikipedia correction under it saying flat Earth is an ancient cosmology. You know what I mean? Like that people used to believe. So the point is like, you're saying like, you're so fucking full of hubris and stupidity that you're going to say that nobody ever actually believed this because Pythagoras, and then fucking you're going to be fact checked by Wikipedia while you're both actually trying to, make the same point that flat Earth is stupid.
Oh shit! It's like cancel each other out.
Right, and that's what's crazy is when you enter like that's why sailing. The most, because the ballers, of course, will try to conflate it, but sailing is the most evidence of flat Earth shit you could ever use. Like, what is a sextant? What is you know what I mean? How do you do trigonometry on anything but a flat surface? You need a baseline. So you're doing trigonometry. And so I don't know. It's silly to me. And then you look, and that's where you find out in parallel sailing, they treat 600 nautical miles, like from point A to point B, as flat.
Oh yeah, if you look at whenever they do their calculations for the angles, when they're setting up a telescope or just anything, using a sextant or anything, they pretend they're on a flat surface, every time.
Yep. In order to, and they always say like we'll go back to our trusty flat Earth model. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, because it's the only fucking bit of thing that makes sense. You know what I mean? And I want to big up Frank America, man. Frank America. I don't know if you guys know him. He has this great book, and the opening quote of his book is from Enoch, and it says, it's about talking about the sun, and it's just such a cool quote. It says, as he rises, so he sets and decreases not and rests not, but runs day and night, and his light is sevenfold brighter than that of the moon. But as regards size, they are both equal. You know what I mean? And I just thought that's interesting. I don't know, but there's a cool book, Frank America, for the flat earthers out there that are, there's so much cool info out there that there's no reason, like after you get through the trauma of debating whether or not the globe is real, there's all this other information that's out there that if you stay locked into the, let's say 20 there's like 20 conversations you're going to have about the shape of the earth. You know what I mean? Spectroscopy. You know what I mean? We could dissect it even further, but like all these different topics. And once you get past that, there's all this history and all this culture that's so fascinating that doesn't have anything to do with whether or not angular resolution determined whether or not Aristarchus could find out the size of the moon. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know what I mean? There's
shout out Aristarchus.
Right, and big up Pete Shea. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta go find him and unban him.
you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing like Pete Shea is Pete Shea. You know what I mean? I don't know.
He's
You know, I don't know. I don't know. There's some, you know, at certain points you just accept who people are.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like, but Aristarchus and all those fun, you know, like those are real characters from history too, or you know, history. You know what I mean? I don't know who these fucking people
Are they
but,
real?
you know,
That's what I was wondering.
I mean, I was just gonna say, shit, I don't know if fucking John Adams is real, dude. But like, you know what I mean?
I know.
But at the same-
I don't know what to believe anymore.
But you know, but how about this? But I like what collectively we all think John Adams stood for, and I like collectively, you know, Aristarchus too. You know what I mean? Whatever. But like, you know, I'm just saying, like, you know, there's so much more beyond the like I said, 20 conversations you're going to have about the shape of the Earth that lead nowhere, like spectroscopy.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. We should talk about more of that stuff too.
Well, dude, I used to, you know, a really cool book, you know, because you're delving into the mysteries when you're delving into flat Earth. Like, a real cool book to, like, you know, let's say, like, if you did a book study or something like that. Like, I used to read chapters of books, and then kind of it would create a conversation out of what we were reading. You know what I mean? And a good book for that is Morals and Dogma, Albert Pike, where he talks about how, you know, the reason for the compass and the square. Like, have you ever heard this?
Yeah, I had to memorize all that for my 33rd.
Oh, no. Okay.
Right on. I know, I got it.
I was like, you got me. Good. I didn't expect
you're getting slow, yourself.
I know,
dude. Getting old, mate. You're getting old.
I haven't been online in so long, dude. It's
that's right. All right.
Oh, my God.
I'll buy into the next ring.
Dude, fucking right. I'm so out. I know it, right? I'm taking things a little too seriously.
I can hear your voice like,
Oh, man, I just woke up from a nap. I wasn't ready for that kind of whip.
Yeah. Here we go. Excuses after the excuses.
I know it, right? Well, that's the Masonic way, right? Though excuses after excuses, yeah. But the compass and the square, like the idea that you would measure the Earth with the square, and you would measure the stars with the compass. You know?
Oh, it goes even deeper. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, you know, so like the idea that you would use the plane, the square, to measure Earth, and then the arc or whatever in regards to the sky. So like there is no resolution almost between the land and the sky. That's how I feel of it. Like, you know, it's because how could it be? It's a complete contradiction, and that's the beauty of mystery of life, is that it's a complete contradiction.
You know? Well, it's like that. Like what you were talking about there about the Babylonians. If you actually look into Chaldeans, but if you look at how the ancients actually thought reality was, like, they would describe things like atoms, you know, little balls and stuff like that, and then you look at that and you think.
He cut out?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Wasn't sure.
I thought it was me, actually.
Another thing with that square and compass, while we're waiting for Allie to come back on, is I've read one interpretation of it as the square symbolizes the concrete world, that we build upon, the foundation that we actually exist on. And the compass, which makes a circle, of course, is the idealized, perfect, virtuous world. So essentially, the square symbolizes reality, and the compass symbolizes idealized reality.
Well, that's why this is where I used to get in. This idea that, like, okay, because I've also, I mean, you know, the deal with masonry, it's like everything has all these different folds and meanings, and symbols mean more than words. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff. Symbols are potent. So the idea that the square represented the physical body and that the compass represented the spirit. And what's interesting is that the ancients understood that there was a distinction between your spirit and your body. And if you notice in this today's creation story and religion of whatever, is that they've tried to blend the physical with the spiritual and then try to impose this idea that God is dead. You know what I mean? So what they tried to do is they tried to make the spiritual corporeal. You know, oh, we can go to Mars. Oh, we can, you know what I mean? Like they've tried to take the spiritual and make it concrete when in reality there's no, like, and that's how you wind up with this materialism, because there is no distinction between, you know, the heavens and the earth. There is nothing, you know, that's different between them. They're all corporeal. That's why you can be a piece of whatever, you know, a piece of mold on a rock floating through space without consequence. You know what I mean? Because like they've tried to blend the spiritual and the physical together, and that's where you have ultimately nihilistic materialism, I think.
Yeah, I kind of see the whole heliocentric model in science, this whole movement, as the current world religion, the biggest religion in the world.
Right. I mean, and that's why I used to get into about law, really, because regardless of our opinions about religion, you know, and the ideas of law, you are a spirit in the body. So it's like if I ask you, Brandon, like, when you die, is it your body that goes into the ground or is it you?
See, I think it is that I am part my body and my soul.
Right. And I would offer that this is what I'm referring to in light of the idea that they have crushed in the scientific mind the distinction between the spirit and the matter. You know what I mean? Because the old school way was that you were a spirit that lived in your body, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so we've tried, and they've in my estimates, they've tried to kind of impose this philosophy that, like you just stated, which is rational and logical, that we're both. That, you know, we have that you are, like I would imagine, like that you are your body. But if I were to ask you the question, if when you die, is it you that goes in the ground, or is it, you know, or is it your, you know, is it your body?
I think part of me will die. Like my body is part of what I am, but there'll be a part that continues on. Like I won't be the same without my body. I won't be me without my body completely, I don't think. I don't know.
I mean, I personally have a differing opinion just because of my, you know, it's my opinion of it, but the idea that, you know, this idea, and I think in a certain sense we've lost, I mean, and I understand why, because it's a logical deduction that you would be part of your body. I just happen to have an opinion, I guess, that I would be the spirit in my body, not my body. Because take, for instance, like if, for instance, you lost a finger or you lost a limb or something like that, like, is that you that you lost?
I think you lost a party. I think when your body dies that you're going to lose a part of you. It'd be like losing like your best friend, like part of you. Your body is so much a part of who you are. It's not you. That's not all you are. I'm saying that there is that other piece, in my opinion. There is a spirit, and maybe we do just temporarily inhabit these bodies. But I do think that we are intimately connected with our flesh, and that a part of us will die when we die, and a part of us will live on.
Right, and I guess, I mean, fair enough. I'm more of the old school opinion of the old philosophy of where, you know, my spirit is what walks through the fire and is not burned. Like my spirit was never born.
Well, I don't completely disagree with
sense,
you.
You know what I mean?
I don't completely disagree with you. But I've been taking
like
care of this bag
like
of
an
flesh
idea-
for so long. I just feel like it's me, you know? I don't know.
Look, what's coming to my mind is the idea of, like, let's say driving a car. So it's like, let's say you get in a car and you drive around. You would still say that you are you, like you're not necessarily the car. So in that analogy, let's say the car would be like your body. And so like if if the car ran out of gas or something and you got out of the car, you'd be like, all right, yeah, that car's done, but I'm still
Right.
me. So yeah.
That's a great analogy of how I look at it personally. And I think that they've tried to deprive us of that concept. And actually we're getting worked on it in the courts because we don't understand their philosophy of the way that they looked at it, which to me makes a lot of sense. The idea that you are a spirit in a body, and and that you are technically not your body. You live in your body. You know what I mean? But your spirit is what is this the source, you know what I mean, of your experience.
I think
I think
I'm almost agreeing with you guys, but I think the relationship is more intimate than that.
My point is that I think that they have seduced us philosophically to that opinion, and in doing so, they have tried to pair the heavens with the earth as though it were all one, and in doing so, they've destroyed the distinction between the heavens and the earth, and in so have destroyed the distinction between the spirit and the body, and therefore are running game on the masses.
Oh yeah,
you just destroyed your fantasy. You've got a fantasy, so that's all. You just need to lose it.
You don't.
So do
you. Anything.
Rumpus, if anyone's got a fantasy, my friend, I've got
testable, verifiable evidence that provides utility. You have nothing at all except your own personal.
Oh, shut up, Rumpus.
Hold on. Does science prove anything, Rumpus?
Unfortunately, it can only do so much.
Okay, all right. Well, then we're done. We're done, dude.
Yes or no? Exactly.
Well, no, it can't prove that we're not in a software simulation.
Okay. So long as
we're playing the vats, unfortunately, but it can do a lot. What in the world that we seem to be living in, it can do a great deal, far more than anything Isa can do with his fantasies.
Well, Rumpus, I would dare suggest that I am thankful. We can all agree that the universe is flat, right?
In 4 dimensions, but you don't understand what that means, do you? You don't. When someone says
it's not 4 dimensions,
you have no idea what that actually means because it's not.
But again, we can all agree that it's flat, though.
You don't understand what that word means.
I don't understand. What? Hey, wait a minute. I'm just quoting modern science.
What the word flat means in this context. You do not understand what the word flat means.
What do you mean, like tectonic plates flat?
It's not exactly.
Explain it, Rumpus. Rumpus, explain it then. Explain it now. On you go. You've got the floor. Explain what flat means in that concept. Then off you go.
Well, space itself is more than 3-dimensional, and it's not the classic one being that you can in a 3-dimensional world, a triangle has 180 degrees of some of the things, but in a non-flat world that we could be living in, then a triangle would not have that. It's almost as though there's a hard dimension, like a foot, like you're moving on a football. You would find that triangles there are not going to have 180 as the sum of their things, and we would find that if the universe was not flat. But as it turns out, that it looks as though space is flat, but that's not in the same sense that.
Right. Okay, then, Rumpus. I'll ask again. And explain flat? You never explained what flat meant there. You just started waffling on about the fucking the universe and that. Explain in that context.
Well,
what
it's a
flat
difficult thing to explain to people who
Oh,
don't
it's
understand.
difficult now. I do understand science.
No,
on you go. On you go.
You're a science denier.
Right.
You're a
So in other words,
he's already
in other words, wait a minute. But you've never mind.
Sorry, I threw you off.
No, it's all right. It doesn't matter, Brandon, actually.
It's quite complicated. The idea of bent space-time is a complicated
Explain it, right. Listen, here's, I've got it back now. I've got my train of thought back. Right. Have you heard of a guy called Sun Tzu? Rumpus. Have you read the book The Art of War? The Art of War, have you heard of that book, The Art of War?
Yeah, the chappie from about 2 centuries ago.
Yeah, he was a general, right? He was a
Chinese
tactician
general
or whatever.
Two millennia ago, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely right. Now, one of the things that he said, and one of the things he says, if the soldiers, fuck all we do that. If the soldiers don't understand the generals,
that's not really relevant, is it?
Right, okay. It's just what it is relevant to what the shite you were talking. So because I
Science,
you were
sorry, yeah,
I
I know you
couldn't
regard
understand.
science as
You said that I couldn't understand science, right?
There you
So
go.
what Sun Tzu said, and I should explain it, right? But anyway, what Sun Tzu said: if the soldiers don't understand the general's orders, then the general is not explaining himself properly. So it's down to you, my friend, to explain it concisely and don't start talking a load of fucking
I'd agree
dribble.
with that, actually. Yes, if you can
Yeah,
explain,
right. So get on with it. So
Right.
you're flawed.
As Einstein said, if you can't explain something simply, you don't fully understand it yourself. And I'm more than willing to accept that I
No,
don't.
that's totally different. No, that's not. That's
No, it's the
got
same
fuck
thing.
all to do. No, it's
No,
not.
it's exactly
No.
the same thing.
No.
If you can't express the thing clearly, you don't fully understand it. Now,
Okay, so what is flat? So what is flat?
Yeah.
I did give a practical example, which I thought would have been helpful, about the idea of a triangle having a sum of 180 degrees, but apparently that wasn't practical enough for you. I thought I'd give it a nice, easy way to understand that was at a practical
triangle.
Rumpus,
Is that a three-dimensional? Is that a three-dimensional triangle or a four-dimensional triangle?
Well, in our space, it looks like three-dimensional, but in fact, it's not. In that space is more than 3 dimensions.
Rumpus, if you want to prove the ball, to us, all you have to do is walk 10,000 miles in one direction, and then make a 90-degree turn, walk another 10,000 miles, right, and then make another 90-degree turn, and you'll wind up in the same place. So could you get going on that?
How about you getting on with some education first?
No. We just need you to start walking, Rumpus.
If you can
I'll
demonstrate,
fund that.
Away from the computer. Just 10,000
if you can demonstrate any understanding of science, I'll embark on my journey. So your first project would be to learn about trigonometry, and when you've demonstrated to us you've mastered that, I'll get my hiking boots on.
When you get back from your trip, we'll fucking have a conversation. But you need to get going, dude.
No. You learn about. All you have to do is learn a bit about trigonometry. Demonstrate to everybody here that you understand it, and then I'll get my hiking boots ready.
Rumpus, you don't know shit, and you're dumbass every day of your.
You're too stupid to understand how
you're
stupid
one of the few people that wake up every day dumb enough to believe in the club.
This is a guy who says he denies science, he even admits to it. That
you don't need. You think science doesn't prove things?
To us about science, presumably.
Why do you show
science
every day?
You are worse than
deny science.
You actively deny science and revel in that fact, and then you.
Right, Rumpus. What is science? What is science? Tell us all.
You're science.
What does it mean?
Science.
No, but what does science mean?
Rumpus is a science denier.
I'm trying to tell you. Science is the understanding of the natural and physical world, or the attempt to understand it.
You don't think it proves things? Just say it.
Correct.
Well, science is the gathering of knowledge. Dude, science is the gathering of knowledge. That's all it fucking means, you dick.
You moron. Well, you could be gathering knowledge about inside leg measurements around the world. That's not science.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it's merely gathering.
In a specific field, you moron.
See, this is the thing. No,
it's a specific
science.
Field. It's not just
it
knowledge
is not.
in general, you twat.
It is not. It's the act of. It is the act of gathering information.
It's not the act of knowledge.
Knowledge. Sorry, knowledge. It's the act. It's the act. It's the act.
Investigation of the physical.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's the act of gathering knowledge.
It's not about what you're thinking in,
you know,
Jack. It's not about playwrights. It's not about.
You know, shit. I own you. Every time we interact, I own you.
How to build a warehouse.
You're just over-talking.
It's very specific. And the fact
so you don't know what science means. No, you don't understand. It is gathering knowledge.
No, it's not. It's a specific sort of knowledge and understanding. It's not just knowledge.
No, it's not. Yes, it is. It is. It's gathering knowledge.
And natural world is the definition of science. Is the study of the physical. Go and look it up. Just go and Google that, and you'll find.
No, you actually go and look. Go and look at the definition of science. Go and look at the etymology.
Not knowledge, you moron.
Go
you
look.
Have knowledge about history. You have knowledge about literature. That's not science.
Go look at the etymological meaning.
Knowledge goes to include theology, Ali, and that's not science. How can you not understand that you're totally wrong? I mean, it's just so obvious you're totally wrong.
I know I'm absolutely right, and you're totally wrong. Sorry.
Knowledge is a
look it up. Go right now. Go right now. Find the definition.
Is theology science?
Is it Is that gathering knowledge?
Yeah,
Do you gather
but it's not
knowledge through
science.
theology? What
But
do you
it's
mean?
not
What,
science.
theology
That's
is.
my point. Theology is not science, but you're still gathering knowledge, so you're wrong. I mean, my God,
Then it's science. Then
obviously
it's
wrong.
science. Then
No,
it's
No,
science.
it's
Yeah,
not.
I'll say
listen.
You've made up a
theology is science.
definition in your head about
Yep.
science.
No,
I've just
no,
shown
I've
it's
not.
contradicted by a
Answer.
simple example I've given.
I am
So you're
absolutely
wrong.
100% right on that
Do you think
definition,
theology
and
is
you are
science? There you
100%
go,
wrong.
people. He thinks theology is science. So I think that's all we need
You
to
think
say.
science is
If it's the
proof?
gathering of knowledge, it's science then.
Right, so therefore, theology is, according to you, is science. You utter
Yeah,
moron.
it is. It is.
Well, there
It
we
is
go.
then.
Okay,
If you're
leave it alone.
gathering knowledge,
I don't need to say any more. You've just
go look it
invalidated.
up. I'll challenge you. Go look it up, the etymological meaning of it, and go and look at the definition of it,
No matter
and you'll
what the
find it.
etymological meaning is, the
Don't do
definition
it.
of
No,
science is the
that is the
study.
definition, you
No, it's not.
dickhead.
No, it's not. The etymology of words
Yes,
does
it
not
is.
necessarily agree with their meaning. There are lots of
Dude.
words that have strange etymologies that actually mean the opposite of their meaning. There are numerous words you can go and invest. Go and look up etymology. Go and look up words that have their etymology is exactly antithetical to the meaning they have. There are loads and loads of words like that. You're clearly not aware of them.
Name
You are a
one.
moron.
What's one of them?
Inflammable was one. It used to mean something was not flammable. Then it became to mean it was flammable, and that's why they've ceased to use the word inflammable now and just use flammable.
Are you being
Jesus
serious,
Christ,
Rumpus?
Rumpus.
What
Yes,
the
You
fuck?
are one of the few types of people that would
You're just
actually
you're
argue
clearly
for
ignorant,
science
Ali, of
and still say
of
science
etymology.
doesn't prove things.
If you're prepared to accept that what we perceive as the real world around us is the real world, then you could argue that even then you can't prove things. So, for instance, we don't know that
Empirical
invisible beings-
evidence. It's fact.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
At least we
Yes,
can all
it
agree.
is. You're an idiot.
Think
Why
that
would you
if
argue against
while you
empiricism?
deny science, you claim to know about philosophy. You should understand.
I know enough about philosophy to
No,
understand
well,
that
actually, you don't.
empirical
So
evidence is
you're now making an
construed.
anti-philosophical argument because you
You're
should
an
know
idiot.
about logic. Have you? You say you've done a bit of philosophy. You understand? Do you know about logic and the
I have
idea
a
of deductive
degree in
reasoning?
English. Yeah, I know a little bit more about whatever.
Yeah, you also
bullshit
claim
you
to have
pulled
done
out of
electrical
your ass.
engineering and didn't know what a capacitor was. So
No, I
you're
studied
a
it for a
moron.
while, but changed my degree because the math.
Yeah,
gave me
well,
a
you're a
headache.
moron. Yeah, well, you didn't understand
There's a
it.
lot
So
of
anyway.
types of
So
you.
the point is you don't understand anything. So I'll demonstrate to you. You claimed God, I forgot what we did.
You don't even know what I
Right,
claim.
proving things. You should
ignorant.
know that to prove something, you have to be able to logically do that by deductive reasoning.
Rumpus,
You cannot
you want
use
to start
deduct-
over?
Listen,
You want
let
to
me
start over?
finish. Let me finish. You cannot use deductive reasoning with science. It's all inductive, which means that invisible green pixies could be responsible for all the phenomena we put down in science. We don't know this. It could be your little godlike character that you believe in so
Straw man
firmly. Could be doing
bullshit.
it all,
Didn't
and there
say
may
that.
be
You
no
wanna start
science behind
over?
it at all. We cannot distinguish between those two situations.
Do you want to start over, Rumpus, or do you just want to monologue some bullshit until you're fucking worn out?
Well, you overtalked
Hey,
me.
Rumpus,
I didn't
how you doing?
George has rated a white knight for you, Rumpus. You got him on cue. Now, Rumpus.
I'm not been a white knight
I've
for
just exposed
anybody.
you as an idiot who doesn't
You're
understand
right.
philosophy. I'm not white knight.
George.
You're the one in need of rescuing from your idiocy and lack of knowledge of philosophy.
Rumpus, do you want to talk? Or do you want George to rescue you from your?
Rumpus,
I don't want
Rumpus,
you are one of the
Rumpus.
few flat earthers I don't wish to talk to because you actively disown science and revel in the fact you don't know things. And clearly you don't know anything about philosophy either. Go ahead,
At
John.
least we can all agree that the universe is flat, everybody. At least everyone will agree.
You don't know
the
what the
universe
word
is
flat
flat.
means.
The
You
grander
don't know
scheme
what
of
the word
things,
flat means, you moron.
it's
Go
level
ahead, John.
and flat and beautiful, right, Rumpus? It's beautiful.
Well, the
Hey,
only thing
Rumpus,
with that, the only thing with that is
around you.
Rumpus. Hold on a second.
Rumpus, I would have thought you had learned
Oh,
your
man.
lesson by now that it's futile to argue with morons.
Rumpus actually embarrassed you, George. You remember
Yeah,
that?
Sinclair is one of the worst.
Do you remember when Rumpus embarrassed you, George, when he said, George, you used to think that you could measure the one-way speed of light, and Rumpus said, no. We all remembered that, George. You're a pseudoscientist. You're a liar. You show up on the internet and say bullshit. We have to cut you out of the conversation for your own good.
Has done more science than I have.
You're a liar. You stop
Practically
arguing.
employed the science
Give
that
it
you
a
learned.
rest and cleanser.
Whereas
You stop
the one
making
that
shit up as you
claimed-
go.
You're the one that
You're
claimed
exposed by
that you
Rumpus.
entered university in
Imagine
an
being a
engineering
baller being
program, which
exposed
is
by
bullshit.
Rumpus.
You're
That's
the
embarrassing.
ultimate liar, sin cleanser.
Rumpus,
entirely
the Glover.
endorsed George. I don't know where you're getting this from. Sinclair.
Rumpus.
He's done more with the practical science than I have. He's actually, with his work, actually did more science. I was more
Rumpus,
into
do you
computing.
know that George's stuff has been recorded? Do you know when George says he can measure the one-way speed of light, he's been debunked? You were the one that debunked him. Do you remember doing that? Or do you want to continue to support people that just push it out of their ass?
George is 99.9%.
So embarrassing for you guys.
George
We
is
also have
99.
George saying.
George is 99.9% correct. Whereas you are correct, 0.1%. So I'm going to go with George.
Conversations within the constraints with which I was working, that is true. But
You're
I
a
have
liar on the internet,
concluded that with the other
Blah, blah.
constraints of
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah.
Stop lying on the internet, George. You gotta just log off.
Yeah, dude. Nobody
Yeah,
cares what
guys.
you guys have to say anyway. We were having a great conversation before y'all showed up here.
It was
That's
we
what I was
got
gonna
George
say.
saying the Earth does. We got George.
Childish piece of
Every
fantasy,
time,
Alexa.
the common denominator seems to be you guys. Just
Yeah,
we
we
got
were having
George
a
saying the Earth does
conversation.
I don't
rotate
understand
under.
anything. You just made up this fantasy and you like living
God,
it and
Rumpus
talking
is
about
never
it.
gonna
You don't
stop
like
talking
Try
for the whole
about it
rest
some
of the
more,
show now.
Rumpus.
Anytime there's
Try
you don't
about
like
it.
being
second
confronted
break.
by
Right,
reality.
what are you saying, Gav? Rumpus. Now I've got a question. Let me ask Rumpus a question. Right, Rumpus. Now tell everybody, are gyroscopes affected by gravity?
Yo, is my mic low, guys?
Well,
No,
whoa.
I
Look,
hear you, brother.
look, can I get an answer off him?
I said no.
Right, Rumpus. Right, there you go, no. There you are. So, gyroscopes
So
that is made of matter
let me
does
just
not
add on
get
to
affected by gravity. There you go.
Correct.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
up.
okay. If you had, if it
Brilliant.
was near a black, can I just respond quickly? If you had it something like they do rely on bearings and things. So if the gravitational forces, let's say it was near a black hole, were close by, then that would cause, I mean, or some very highly gravitational force that would cause its weight to increase enormously, and that would cause the bearings to stop working. So in that respect, you would have a problem. Your gyroscope would stop working if it suddenly became, say, 50 times heavier because it was very close to a very massive body like an enormous sun or a black hole or something. So then it would stop working. But fundamentally, a gyroscope is designed to be balancing out the gravitational forces, and the only way the gravity gets involved is by bearings or distorting or applying stresses to the shape. And providing the structure can withstand the gravitational forces, then it's not affected because they're designed to balance out. So the arms of the gyroscope are symmetrical to avoid the very issue of gravity interfering with it all. But if gravity was really high, it would break the instrument effectively.
Jesus Christ, I think you actually believe that. That's incredible.
You didn't understand what I said then, Sinclair.
I think that you could just say these things to people or a crowd that doesn't.
You don't. It's like you obviously you deny what I said because you don't understand what I said. You didn't understand.
Right, let me get another question, Rumpus. Let me get another question.
So,
I do. Yeah, right, listen.
You
Right,
don't
yeah.
because you're a moron.
Yeah,
Sally,
but I don't agree with
Ali,
it.
I ranked you
I
well above
understood that.
Sinclair. Yeah, you did.
Right,
You did.
no,
Very
but
simple. It was too much for Sinclair.
Enough with the false platitudes. So anyway, listen. So if I'm standing on a spinning ball, right? Okay, and I face in the direction.
Balls are for games. Do you mean a
all right,
geoid?
Let's say no, it's not a sphere. It's a geoid. So I'm on a spinning geoid, right? Okay, and I'm facing the direction that I'm spinning in, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Am I traveling in a linear direction?
No.
Well, why? What would I be traveling in then?
You'd be following.
To me.
Well, assuming you're.
I'd be going straight in a straight line, yeah? I'd be going in a straight line.
No, you're not going a straight line. Hold on. Let's imagine you're on the ground, so you're following the movement of the ground, I assume. You're not floating in the air and shooting, like a rocket.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, all right. So if you're being held down to the ground by gravity, so you're being accelerated down by gravity, and if you're on a world that's rotating, then you will rotate the Earth and you'll be going in a big circle.
Yeah, but I'll be in a linear direction, right? The force that is acting upon me is a linear direction, right?
Oh, the gravity force is pulling you to the center of the Earth.
No, forget the gravity. No. Linear. I'd be going in a straight line. I would be going in a straight line. Dude,
but Ali, the only force acting on you is gravity. There is no other force acting on you in that scenario.
What about the centrifugal? What about the centrifugal? What about the forward motion?
Oh, sorry, you're actually.
What about the forward? I'll be travelling in a forward motion, you dick.
Centrifugal force is a virtual force. It's only. It's
No, but
it's
right,
not a force.
right,
The only force acting is gravity. Because
right,
that's the
right,
thing.
right.
You need a force to make you follow the curve. Because if you didn't have that gravity force, you would carry on in a straight line and you would leave the surface.
So I'm moving downwards then.
You're being
So I'm not
accelerated.
going in a straight line.
That,
So I'm not.
You're not
So
moving.
I'm on an object that's moving in a specific east to west
it's
direction,
spinning.
right?
Hold on, it's spinning. It's spinning. It's spinning. So
No,
yeah,
it's
moving in
moving.
the sense of spinning. Well, it's
Yeah,
spinning.
all right, it's
Yeah, let's
spinning.
be
I'll
specific,
use your
it's
words.
spinning.
Yeah, that's fine. I've not got a problem with spinning. Yeah, I've not got a problem with your shitty words, right?
I thought you
So
may
it's
have been talking
spinning,
about
right?
the movement through
Now,
space
I'm
of
on.
all
No,
objects
no,
before.
no, well, you were wrong. See what thought did. See what thought did to your rumpus. You should stop that because it doesn't fucking work for you. Right.
What
So
doesn't
anyway,
work for
I'm
me?
on it.
I don't know what you're
Thinking.
talking about.
Well, thinking. You just said.
I was just
Right,
checking.
so
when you said
anyway,
the word moving,
I'm
I thought
standing
you were
on
talking
an
about the Earth
object, right,
moving through space.
right.
But you're
I'm
just still
standing
talking
on.
about the spinning. Okay.
Yeah, okay, right. I'm spinning, right, but I'm
Just spinning.
standing
We're not doing any
on.
of the movement. Okay.
I'm standing on the ground, right? So that means I will be moving in a forward direction. If I face the sun, right, I'd be moving from east to west. East to west is a straight direction, isn't it? It's linear.
Well.
It's
Yeah, but you're
linear,
going
yeah.
around a circle.
That doesn't matter. It's still linear. Yeah, but
No,
to
it's
me
not.
it'd be linear. Yes, it would be. In my
No.
reference frame, I'd be moving in a linear direction, a straight line.
Only for
Yes, I
an
would.
instant. In an
No, all the time.
infinitesimally. No, you're
No.
not. No.
Oh, I must be.
Do you understand the
right,
idea
what-
of infinitesimal?
Right. Never mind that. Do you understand the meaning of direction?
I do.
Right. Now, is east to west, is that a straight? Is that a straight line? If you looked at that and you were spinning from east to west or west to east or whatever, right? That would be a straight line you would be moving in, yeah? In your reference frame. In your reference frame, you would know you were on a spinning ball, right? Or you were
the
on a,
Earth isn't fucking spinning, homie.
You would.
What's that?
You would,
Down this fucking path with this clown.
oh, right, so you're one of the people. So you're one of the people that you're trying to censor people as well, then, are you?
You're trying
that
to
way.
give him the benefit of the doubt to give you
He's
the
asking me a
imagination
question.
that the world is.
I'm
spinning.
asking questions. I'm asking fucking
Not
questions,
spinning.
and you're acting like a fundy,
It's
Yeah.
a
I am
fundamentalist,
interrupt?
fucking
Hey,
fundamentally
Alan,
telling you the Earth is not
fucking
spinning.
fly earther, man.
Yeah,
You sound like
yeah.
so many other people.
You're goddamn
Can I
right.
interrupt for a sec?
Don't fucking try and censor me, my friend. Yeah, of course
Hey,
you can.
guys.
So, play
Guys,
with compass,
can't
thinking
we
the
all
Earth is
agree-
moving.
Hey guys, can't we all agree that the best movie ever would be Rumpus and George going on a 10,000-mile journey trip and becoming Zen Buddhists along the way? Wouldn't be the greatest fucking movie
You're
ever.
a moron. You really are.
Dude,
is
Rumpus
trying
and
to talk
George,
people into shit.
10,000
Right, so and
miles.
to answer your question, Ali, if you understood the concept of instantaneous
God.
velocity, at any one moment you have a velocity in a direction, but that changes when you're in a circular motion. That's changing all the time. Every tiny bit of time, your direction is changing, and so
No,
you're
it's not. There is
you're
a-
not,
you're
you're
going in a
not, you're
straight
not
line.
following. Hold on, let me nearly let it, Ali. So you're not only
No,
for
you're bigger.
only if you freeze time, in effect, are you going have a particular direction, but that changes every instant of time. So you're not.
No, you're
on
going in a straight
line.
direction. If I'm heading to east to west, is that a straight direction?
Only for an instant of time. And if you understood infinitesimals, you'd understand what I said. If you
Well,
understood
well,
calculus, if you understand what Newton had discovered 300 or 400 years ago, you would understand what I just said, but perhaps you don't. It is a bit more difficult to understand than the previous thing.
Sounds
that
like a bunch
Sylvia-
of
Oh dear, Rumpus, that's weak. That's so weak.
Well, you
that's
obviously
so
don't
fucking
understand
weak.
infinitesimals. You wouldn't be asking this question if you understood the concept of instantaneous
What's
direction motion.
infinitesimals got to do with a linear direction? Tell me.
Because at any one infinitesimal, you do have a linear direction, but it only lasts an infinitesimally short period of time.
So if I was on, say, for example, one of the moving walkways that you get at Heathrow Airport, and I stood on that, I would only be going in a straight line for an infinitesimal.
How about to make it easy for you? Imagine you're on a merry-go-round.
No,
Well,
I've just said that.
No,
No,
hold on,
never
I'm
mind
gonna
make it
make
easy.
for you.
I
I'm
was
gonna make
making
this
it
easy
easier for you.
I'm going to make this easy for you. If you're on a
Yeah.
merry-go-round, would you say that you are going in a linear direction if you were on the merry-go-round?
No, I wouldn't be.
Great.
I'd be going because I'd be I would be perpendicular to the direction of the spin. But if I'm standing on a ball or a sphere that is going in a spin,
can I just develop this? Okay, I just want to get the answer.
The difference between a roundabout and a sphere is the roundabout is a spinning fucking disc, and I'm standing on top of a spinning disc going in a totally fucking different direction than a fucking ball is.
Right. It's almost exactly the same. So
no, it's not. It's not.
Let me develop this. Please.
It's
so you've given
absolutely
me the
not.
that you're not going in a linear direction, because obviously the fact you're going around the merry-go-round to come back to where you are, you couldn't do that.
Not in a merry-go-round, yep.
Nearly there, Ali. Please let me just finish. 10 more seconds. At any instant of your motion on that, please let me finish. Nearly there. Yeah, don't be a twat. Do you want me to interrupt you when you're talking?
4,
Shall I start interrupting you now? Shall I start doing the same thing to you when you're
1. No, you do it anyway.
Shall I start?
Yeah,
no, you do it to me. So I shall now.
You guys flat Earth. Can we
you're frightened of the explanation I'm going to give you, Ali. So you're going to be frightened. So I'm going to try again to stick to this explanation. So the point is that be quiet, Sinclair, you're a moron. At any one instant, Ali, on that merry-go-round, you are actually have a direction of travel in a straight line.
I have to agree with you there, Rumpus, about him being a moron. Yep.
Yeah, he is.
He's much worse than you are.
You're a much better
You're
human
saying
being
the
than
Earth is spinning.
Oh, thank you, Rumpus. I appreciate that. Yes.
The point is, Ali, that at any
he's trying to spin somebody. What's that Rumpus is saying to me? He's trying to
agree with discussion.
Can someone mute Sinclair? He's just disrupting a conversation.
Do you want to have Glover Hour? Do you want to big flat Earth and more?
Can someone mute Sinclair, please? He's disrupting a simple conversation we're having.
I'm finished. No, I'm finished now, Rumpus.
Apparently.
I'm finished now. I'm finished.
Okay, I'm going to
you
finish
should
up the
be
point
finished
I'm
because
making.
you're not debating flat Earth. You're the one, Ali B, saying the Earth is spinning.
Please. Can someone mute him?
No,
Can
you're
someone
a
mute him?
joke.
I'm still in the middle of my sentence. So, at an instant of that merry-go-round experience you were having, at every single freezing moment in time, if I could freeze time, every point I froze, you would be going in a different direction, but that would be a linear direction. And if you understood,
so you're on a spinning. So we're actually on a spinning disc. Then is that what you're saying?
Spinning there doesn't make any difference.
So bullshit.
No, but you're saying we're living in a spinning disc then. He said we're living in a spinning disc.
How did we get
we're actually on a disc.
Okay, imagine okay, then if you would prefer to have a sphere, imagine
a roundabout is a flat.
Imagine the merry-go-round was a sphere and not a disc. And if you prefer, then you would have exactly the same situation. It wouldn't change. And at any instant in time, you have a linear velocity. For an instant in time, if I freeze time, you have an instant velocity, a linear one, but that changes every infinitesimal. And that's the thing that Newton understood with the calculus. So you are on the Earth, you do have an instantaneous linear velocity, but over any period of time you can measure, you are going around, your velocity is not linear. There we go, finished.
That's bollocks. Finished.
Ali B, can I talk to you, brother? Listen, dude, why are we talking about the
Well, I'm not your... Listen, let's start off. I'm not your brother.
Yeah, I said that affectionately because I don't even think you're a fucking flat earther with the way that you.
I'm not. I'm actually an agent being paid by the. Yeah, I'm. Yeah. So yeah, I'm an agent getting paid by the fucking CIA. Off you go, mate.
Yeah, it sounds like it every day, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. There you go.
If you're getting us into this realm of the Earth moving in the sky and this and that and all this different bullshit mathematics, what are you doing? You're trying to talk us.
I'm talking about something I'm interested in. Well, are you insecure about the Earth? Are you that insecure about the shape of the Earth that you're that insecure about your own fucking beliefs? You feel so. Well, shut it then. Shut your hole. Shut your fucking hole. Don't tell me what I can and cannot fucking discuss. You fucking idiot.
We're the people that are saying the Earth isn't fucking moving.
Someone in the chat is asking me to explain how this 1,000 miles per hour at the equator.
It's not fucking moving at 1,000 miles at the equator.
As the Earth is rotating,
you're a liar.
Just like a bicycle wheel, it is spinning much more rapidly on the outside of the bicycle, but something like at the pole, which is effectively the center of the wheel, you are actually not spinning, you're just rotating. So there you get 1,000 miles per hour.
Why we're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour.
Can you just stop interrupting me and behaving like a complete wanker? I'm prepared to give you a turn to speak, but stop interrupting me. So when you're at the equator, because effectively the radius of rotation is greater, you go faster, and as you go further north, and your radius of rotation becomes less until you get to the North Pole, your speeds decrease. And if you think of the Earth rotates one rotation every 24 hours, and if you take that out to 24 for the radius of the Earth, which is whatever it's 6,371 kilometers, then that gives you a value of 1,000 miles per hour linear velocity at the equator. It's very simple. Go ahead.
Bullshit. Very simple. Yeah, you made all that up, and you don't know why the Earth is. You don't even know anything about.
So it's linear then, Rumpus. It's linear. Just what I said.
The instantaneous speed. The instantaneous speed is linear, as I explained to you earlier.
But if right, so you say you freeze frame, and then that's you actually traveling in a linear velocity.
Correct.
So you're stopped, but velocity. What's velocity? Velocity?
It's like a film. It's like if I have film something that's moving. If I have a freeze frame of it, the object hasn't stopped.
Then it's not moving. Well, it has stopped moving because you freeze
this is the
frame.
film. No, this is the film. It's like freeze frame. It's like a freeze.
Yeah, so you freeze frame, but it's stopped. Then it's stopped.
No, you haven't. No, the film is still there. The thing is capturing what is happening in the world. But if you wanted to draw the velocity in a freeze frame, it would be a line, a straight line.
What?
This is why I like debating.
I have a question for you, Rumpus. Is there anywhere in reality you can show me a stationary sun?
Ali, I don't think you should jump into their world so much. That's the only problem I have.
No, there's because we're on a rotating sphere, there is nowhere. I mean, even if the sun was above the pole, it would seem to rotate. So if you
there's nowhere in reality you can show me a stationary sun, right?
I don't think that would be certainly. Even if the North Pole, there's no position on the Earth.
Hey, Rumpus, consider an airplane flying east to west.
Yeah, you could. I mean, I assumed he was talking about being a point on the Earth. Yeah, obviously you can do anything you like if you're in a rocket.
So that's the only place you can see the stationary sun.
That's not a place, is it? If you're on a moving position, that's not a place, is it?
So there's nowhere you see a stationary sun then, in reality.
Not a fixed place, no. But obviously, if you're in an airplane like Concorde, could keep the sun in the same position. And
so what is the Concorde doing? Is it keeping up with the rotation of the Earth or the speed of the sun?
It's keeping up with the rotation of the Earth.
Is that what it's doing?
That is what it's doing. That's why I said so 10 seconds ago.
And how would you know that?
Because we know that the Earth rotates. And we know the speed of its rotation. Therefore, we know if we have an object that goes in the opposite direction at that same speed, everything will appear stationary. It's very simple.
How do you know the Earth is rotating when you see a moving sun?
That's not the way you would find out whether you're rotating or not. That doesn't visually. You can't tell whether or not you are rotating or the sun's rotating. You can't do it just.
Oh, okay. So Einstein was correct. There's no optical test or any science that you can prove. Okay.
Correct.
That's why you came up with this theory of relativity, right?
That was another issue completely. Relativity was another issue. Why you think?
Since there was no test optically to perform whether or not the Earth was rotating or the sun was stationary, how would you prove it? You would have to come up with a theory, right?
He had lots of reasons for coming up with lots of theories. He came up with theories about Brownian motion and all sorts of other things. He doesn't have to have a motive. Why are you interested in his motive? What matters is whether or not the theories he produced were correct.
So I couldn't care
if it was because he had an itch on his left leg that he came up with his theory. The point is the theories he came up with were valid.
So there's no scientific proof or scientific test to prove the Earth is rotating.
There are no optical tests. You can perform other tests that aren't optical. Jesus, you're an idiot.
What other tests?
Did you miss the word optical that you just used?
What other test?
Okay, let me list them. I'll just remind myself.
How about dropping a sphere off a tall column?
One of them. One of them.
So that's dropping an object off a tall building, and that proves the Earth is rotating, does it?
Yeah, because it doesn't land where directly underneath it.
Prove it.
We have.
No, you haven't.
There's a tower in Bremen where they've got a vacuum chamber that's 100 meters tall, and they throw things up and down it, and it descends following the line of gravity, and it does not land where it was dropped from. And that's
That's
because
an
of the rotation of
optical.
the Earth.
That's an
No, it's not
optical
optical. No,
test.
it's not optical. It's nothing to do with optics, you moron. I just told you.
Sure?
It does not land. You
You're
could place
watching
something
it.
directly
You're
below
watching
the
it
object.
fall.
Listen. You
You're
have
watching
you
it
know where
fall.
you've put it, and you know the spot
And
that's
then you're
directly
claiming
underneath
it's
it.
deviating.
Stop interrupting me. You're trying to. You're scared of what I'm
Because
about
the
to
Earth
say
is
or something.
rotating.
Yeah,
Not at
here we
all.
go. Let's try it. For the benefit of everybody else who didn't hear while he was interrupting me. So you have something, you have this vacuum chamber. You have a tower, 100 meters high, and then you can say where directly beneath where you're dropping it is, and it does not land there. And that's because the Earth's rotating.
That's not
We've
an
also
optical.
got.
You're
It's
not
nothing to
seeing
do with
something
optical, you
with your
moron.
eyes.
It's nothing to do with optical. It's nothing to do with optical.
You're not
You
seeing
utter
something
moron.
with your
You
eyes
moron.
deviating.
You could place a
Nothing to
detector
do
on the
with
floor
optical. I
that
mean,
just
Jesus
feels where it
Christ.
lands. You don't have to depend on your
Okay,
eyes for
so
this.
the
Data,
detector,
you're
on
an
data.
idiot.
the
Data, you're an
detector is
idiot.
placed on the floor.
Optical test doesn't refer to that you can't observe with your eye. Jesus, you're an idiot.
Did you hear what you just said, George? Are you fucking kidding me? The optical pass has nothing to do with what we see with our eye. Are you kidding me?
No, that's not what I
wanna
said.
say that again as an adult?
What I referred to as optical test isn't that you have to close your eyes, you dumb fuck.
You are kidding me.
So there's no place we see a stationary sun. Noted. Thanks.
Right,
guys.
I just thought I just might give some of the other points of why we know we're rotating. Bob Nodell, of course, found another one with gyroscopes. Then you have the fact that we have variation of weight with latitude. Then you have Foucault's pendulum. Then you have the
bullshit. Foucault pendulum is garbage.
Things like what's
you
the
want
other
to
one?
debunk
Coriolis
Foucault
effect.
pendulum? Rumpus.
So they're all reifications, right?
They're all valid proofs. The fact you don't understand that is just your problem.
Right?
They're
You're
all
looking
valid
at
proofs of
something,
rotation.
you're observing some deviation, and therefore that's the cause, right?
Foucault pendulums do not
We
work
observe things that can only happen as a result of a rotating Earth.
They do not work in a vacuum.
How do you run that through a hypothesis there, Rumpus?
Right, we say if the Earth is rotating, then things like dropping something.
You're begging the question already, right?
No, it's not begging the question. That's called a hypothesis, you moron.
Can I finish my statement? So we say if the Earth is rotating, be quiet. If the Earth is rotating, something will not fall to the ground directly beneath it if it has sufficiently far to go, like 100 meters, and we find that. If the Earth is rotating, then gyroscopes would be demonstrating the drift. We find that. If the Earth is rotating, we'll have a Coriolis effect. We have that. If we have rotation, things would weigh differently at different
there's
latitudes.
a major problem.
We have that. So in other words, if you could show that any one of those things didn't happen, hold on, here's a key point. If you could show that any one of those effects did not happen, you could invalidate the rotation of Earth. And the fact that all those things do happen, or the fact that all those things I
Here's the
described,
problem:
there are
why
more.
all those things are invalidated.
There are more. The fact that
Do you
all
want
those
to know
things
why
I've
those things
described,
are invalidated?
the fact that all those things, the fact that all those things I described,
Do you know why they're
do happen,
invalidated?
the fact that all those things that I described do happen.
Rumpus, do you know why they're invalidated?
The fact that all those things that I described happen.
Do you know why they're invalidated, Rumpus? You don't know, do you? Would you like to be told why they're invalidated?
The fact that all those things that I described occur means that the Earth is rotating.
What are they? What are they contingent on?
Now it's your turn. You see.
What are they
Now it's
contingent
your
on?
turn. You see. Now I could either choose
What
to
are they
interrupt you like you're interrupting
contingent
me,
on,
or I'm
Rumpus?
going to do what I normally do and I allow you to speak. Go ahead.
Rumpus, what are they contingent on? They're contingent on one factor.
Earth rotating.
And you need a ball Earth, right?
Spherical Earth.
That's called the proof.
So if you want to show me curvature that would validate your hypothesis,
we're talking about rotating. Why never you something else?
Rotating
Why
data,
have you changed the
not
subject?
So you need a ball to
Why
be
have
rotating.
you changed the subject?
You need curvature for a ball to be rotating. That's what you need first before you can reify any of those other things.
You can be rotating on almost
They are
anything.
all invalidated
Not reification,
without
you moron.
curvature.
No, they're
But
not.
it could
You
be a
have no
pyramid.
Earth
You could
curvature.
have a
You
pyramid
have
shape,
no
and
ball.
you still get the effects I described.
Data. Hello, data. Listen, you can
They
also do
are
it the other way.
all invalidated.
You're invalidated because you don't understand hypothesis. sir.
They are all
Hello,
invalidated because
data.
you
They're
need
not
Earth
invalidated. You're an
curvature.
idiot. No.
You need a sphere.
No.
Yes, you
Data,
do.
You can start the other way.
So
Data.
wait a second.
Data. We shut
If
up
you
for just
don't
10
have a
seconds and listen
sphere,
for a while. Data,
you don't
shut
have
up,
a
listen.
sphere,
The
what
Foucault
do you
pendulum,
have?
the Foucault
Listen.
pendulum doesn't depend on
He
curvature.
showed that he's much too stupid to discuss anything.
All of that stuff is
Data.
contingent on the
Shut up and
shape of
listen.
the Earth
He is
being a
very, very
ball.
stupid.
Show the ball,
Okay,
and you
thanks,
can't.
George.
Data.
Yeah, no, he is
So
very
you have
stupid.
This is proof of the
reification.
ball. This isn't reification. I should
You
be
need
muted. Sinclair.
curvature for Earth to be a
No,
ball.
I should be muted.
That's why
Hello,
all of those
Data, you just listen
observations
for
are
10 seconds.
validated. Because
Data,
they're
listen for 10
reifications
seconds.
based on the idea you think it's a ball.
Why can't you behave like a
Show the ball first, and then show the
No,
example it is
Data,
a ball.
this
You
is-
can't do
this is
that.
Why
proof of the
can't you
ball.
behave in a civilized manner? Why is it beyond you to allow an exchange that someone speaks?
We're
and then you-
talking.
All of your reifications
Data,
are invalidated
that's not a
here today.
reification, Data.
You
It's
need
proof.
a spherical Earth
No.
first. What
That's
you
right, that's
do
proof for the
Right,
spherical.
let
is
him
you
answer,
beg the
Data. You
question,
made the point.
then you
Data,
reify an
now let him
observation,
reply.
all
made the
without
point,
physical
Sean.
Earth
So
curve.
Data.
You see,
I
Data, if you
had
assume
to-
the other thing, you assume if the Earth isn't flat, then you wouldn't see rotation of the focal
Joss
pendulum.
Emerald,
If the Earth wasn't flat, you wouldn't see all these things. If the Earth was stationary, you would not see these things
another
happening.
reification.
No, it's not reification. It's proof.
Yes, you are.
moron.
You're looking at a device that's man-made. It's
So
doing
what?
it's doing a man-made phenomenon
So what?
that you want
Clocks
to
are the same
reify.
thing. So
Not
are
something
you
that
reifying
happens in
time?
reality. It's
Are
a
you reifying
man-made
time?
construct.
You
Are
think
you
we could
reifying
need-
time?
You
Are you
need
reifying
Earth
distance?
curvature for any of those to be
Data,
valid.
you are completely.
You don't have
you are
Earth
a pro.
curvature,
Data,
so
I
therefore
mean,
they're
just-
all
Data,
just
will you please
break
shut
apart
the
that-
fuck up
just
for
to-
a while?
Yeah, just to break apart that first lie, so the focal pendulum doesn't even depend on the curvature of the Earth. All it does is show that there's precession and therefore by necessity, not curvature, rotation.
Again,
The only thing
your
that the things
ball
that,
Earth
so,
has to have
only thing-
curvature.
the
No,
only thing
Data,
that Rumpus's
hello.
If it
experiments
isn't a
brought up-
ball, there is
things
no
like-
gravity, there is no center of mass, and there is no rotation. So please
Data?
show
Yeah.
curvature.
Data.
I don't, we
okay.
don't have to. We don't have to
How come?
invoke.
How come
yeah.
all these experiments show curvature and rotation?
So they're
They don't
not
show the Earth to be
experiments,
flat.
they're
They
man-made constructs.
Doesn't matter. So is time.
They
so
are
is
not
distance.
experiments,
So
they are
data.
man-made constructs.
They're
They're not
measurements, you
experiments.
moron.
There's
You
nothing
don't know what
observed in
experiment is,
natural
bitch in the
phenomenon.
ass.
Data.
It's a
Okay, Data, you
man-made
design an
construct.
experiment. Data,
Think-
then you tell us how to design an experiment that would measure the properties we're talking about. We know things like the focal pendulum theory. You design an experiment for us that would
Focal
capture whether or
pendulum
not
is
the Earth is
bullshit.
rotating.
Stop being a
So for
liar.
me to have any construct first, I'd have to establish curvature. There
You
is no
wouldn't.
curvature.
You can come at this from different angles.
There's
You can say,
no
No, this
no,
establishes the curvature,
curvature.
you moron.
There is
Data,
no
you can establish
physical.
There
whether
is
it's
no
This
rotating.
establishes
measurement
the rotation, you
curvature.
idiot.
There are lots of
I don't
different
think you
ways.
guys are.
There are
Hold on.
lots of different ways.
Hold
of
on, Rumpus,
calculating-
please.
Go ahead.
Rumpus, please.
Okay.
You guys aren't hearing our
No,
argument.
I'm hearing your argument. It's stupid,
No,
Sinclair.
hey, listen, no, stop, guys. You're gonna overtalk, but listen, honestly, you guys are here to hear flat earthers. We're telling you the things that you're presenting to us, we're rejecting. Deal
Yeah,
with
because you're
us
idiots.
from the
Yes,
point
but for no
in which
reason.
we
Yeah,
reject
we know
it.
you're rejecting it because you don't understand
You're,
science.
no,
Data-
my God,
Data
you guys
doesn't
are
understand.
so
Because
clueless.
Data does not understand at the moment that the concept of measuring rotation is independent of curvature. Now, you could say, which he could make an argument for,
Oh my
that there are
God,
some requirements for sphericity, but you can still measure the
He'll
properties
never
of
stop.
rotation without having to worry about the shape of the Earth. You can just say, is rotation happening?
Bumpus.
Do an experiment to measure
Would
that.
you
Why
not
don't you get
agree?
Data to stop for a while?
What did
Yeah.
you? Would
Why
you
don't
not
you get
agree,
Data to listen?
Rumpus?
He's
Would you
spoken
not
more than
agree,
anybody else.
Rumpus? Would you not agree, Rumpus, that
preacher.
that your rotating ball is contingent on the whole premise of being curved due to gravity in the center of mass, and that the rotation
but
is effect. The
I
rotation
agree
is
with
the
you.
effect
All those things would have to happen with
of
gravity.
all that
Are we
assumption
arguing gravity or Earth's
of what
rotation?
gravity
What
does.
are you arguing, Data? You're arguing
Data,
everything.
Preaching.
You're
Data,
combining it all into one big ball.
So
Data, you can
you
still
need they're all
measure-
contingent on one
Yeah,
factor,
data.
No, sir.
and that
Still
is
They're
the
all
measure whether there is
sphericity.
rotation or not. Data.
It's
you
all
can still
contingent on one
measure
factor:
Whether there is
the
rotation or not. as a
sphericity
starting
of the
point.
Earth.
No,
Data.
Data.
There is
When-
no
when we-
Start off by
sphericity of
measuring
the
whether
Earth.
there is rotation or not.
If
You
there
can
is no
you measure the other
sphericity
things
of the Earth,
independently.
you have
The-
to find an alternative cause.
Data. If all we're doing
Data,
is taking
we
a focal pendulum and seeing it precess, the only conclusion we're drawing from that is that there's rotation. This is independent of the shape.
So what
of
you're
the-
doing is you're looking at a deviation, and then you're reifying that deviation
Not a
as
reification,
rotation of a
you
Not
moron.
body.
reification. We're
that's
We're
looking
just
at
apparently
measuring
rotation.
data.
We're
underneath
looking
it.
at rotation, and we're calling
you
it
don't
rotation.
have-
It's calling a spade
So
a
listen,
spade.
Is there
If
rotation
you
or not?
don't
Explain,
have,
Data,
if
explain
you
the
don't
explain,
have sphericity,
Data, explain
what would be the
movement of the
alternative
focal pendulum.
cause?
But you're saying that rotation is happening because of the Earth rotation. So you are
Explain.
actually
Explain the rotation.
You don't
Explain
have
the deviation of a focal pendulum.
sphericity,
Yeah,
then you have to look at the alternate cause.
Simon, explain the deviation of a focal pendulum.
Oh, what would be the alternate cause if you do not have sphericity?
Go ahead, explain it, Data. Explain the movement of the focal pendulum.
So if you have an observation,
go, Data. Explain
if
me.
you have an observation based on a mechanical device.
You have an observation of rotation data.
If you are observing a mechanical device and it's deviating and you're pondering the idea of deviation, you're going to have an assumption what's causing that deviation.
We can show
you are
rotation.
assuming that the Earth is rotating.
Measuring a rotation.
Based on all of the modern science that we've been told today,
Earth to data,
that the Earth is rotating due to gravity, due to the center of mass.
We can measure rotation data.
If you don't have that, then what would be the alternative?
Data,
you don't have Earth curve, guys.
You have to start
tell me the alternative to the movements of the focal pendulum.
So you don't have Earth curvature, so what would be the alternate cause?
Explain to me the movement of the focal pendulum.
Your fundamental belief in the observation is contingent on the shape of the Earth.
I'm asking you to explain the focal pendulum.
Your fundamental belief is contingent.
No, shut up. Tell David to shut up.
Here, let me ask you this, guys.
Is
your observation?
I want him to tell me what he thinks moves the focal pendulum.
Is the observation contingent on the Earth being a sphere?
No, the measurement independent of that.
Okay, welcome to Flat Earth then.
Measure rotation.
Welcome to Flat Earth then. Because if you don't need a sphere and a ball, then you don't need Earth rotation to cause the deviation.
So explain the movement of the focal pendulum.
If you don't need a sphere, it's not contingent on it. That means the Earth rotation is not causing it because it wouldn't be a sphere. Now, would it?
Explain to me the movement of the focal pendulum.
You're observing a man-made instrument that's deviating.
Hold on. Dude, listen. A focal pendulum doesn't fucking work in a vacuum. You dumbass.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Show it.
It would work better in a vacuum.
Show it, you liar fucking
you want me to show you about working in a vacuum, huh?
Stop saying shit.
It would work in a vacuum. It would work better in a vacuum.
You're a liar.
It would work better in a vacuum. There'd be no air resistance.
Every day we come into here, we listen to you say some bullshit.
It would work better in a vacuum. Why? There'd be no air resistance.
You don't know what you're talking about. There's no resistance.
Now I have to jump through this hoop, huh? So do you think the breeze causes the movement of the focal pendulum?
Yes. It causes a deflection. You're an idiot.
Wrong.
So inside buildings that have no breeze. The very same breeze exists all around the world.
And the breeze is in the southern hemisphere or the other direction, right?
Yeah.
This is the stupidest explanation I've heard yet.
It is. I mean, this is why it's just not worth talking to him.
This is stupider than Data.
It is. He is stupid. He's possibly the most stupid flat earther.
Oh my god! So I need a focal pendulum in a vacuum now to please you moron.
Yeah. He thinks it's about the breeze. I've never heard anybody make that suggestion before.
This is the stupidest thing I've heard yet.
It is.
Data, you got anything that's less stupid than sin cleanser?
I'm trying to think of something more stupid. I can't off the top of my head.
Oh, Data left, huh?
Yeah.
He wouldn't tell me what moves the focal pendulum. Left his ass white sin cleanser to do it instead.
In a vacuum, dumbass.
He always, whenever he's pinned down, Data runs away. When he's ever asked to actually produce something.
All right. Yeah, you showed him shells.
Focal pendulum in a vacuum.
Yeah. You showed him. Man. You showed him.
Yeah, you fucking were
he did, man. Yeah. You can go back. You can go away to your wee channel there and brag about it.
Oh, look at this. Oh, this took me real long to find. My God. No, it's a YouTube video too, so you know it's true.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you found one of you, Shill?
Yeah, of course. I mean, how long did it take me? 10 seconds?
That was shorter than that while you were talking to us. I think that's probably shorter than 10 seconds.
Shut your mouth.
No, I've already debunked the focal pendulum.
You advocate
you
just advocated breezes as the cause of the focal pendulum, which means you really ought to be denied even being allowed to speak ever again. So you actually found a focal pendulum in a vacuum?
Well, it's a pendulum. This first one's just a pendulum. It's not a focal.
There are no focal pendulums in a vacuum.
I want to see focal pendulum in a vacuum during a solar eclipse.
Well done, Jeremy. You're the only person. Well done, Jeremy. You're the only person that actually pronounced the words right.
You're not gonna fucking find one.
Come on, Jeremy, demonstrate to me you're brighter. I know you're brighter than Sinclair. But you don't believe it's caused by a breeze,
gonna
do you?
depend on
I've already
resistance.
debunked the Foucault pendulum.
You haven't
myself.
debunked shit.
The Foucault
Yeah, but you didn't do it with a
pendulum.
breeze, though, did you? Please tell me you didn't do it with a breeze, Jeremy.
How'd you debunk the
Not in a
Foucault
vacuum,
pendulum, Jeremy? Tell me that, please.
Yeah.
Well, if this is the
You guys are such
Coriolis
fucking
effect.
It's a Coriolis effect, yes, that's true.
Oh, hey, how many Coriolis effects are there?
Depends on how many things you can attribute to the rotating
Oh,
Earth.
Sin's got this. Go ahead, Sin.
You guys
You
lie
see,
about so
I'm
much.
glad to see that Jeremy
Hold on.
avoided the subject
The
of
fact
breezes.
that we're asking
Oh,
about
that-
what you could do
I
to
thought he
prove
wouldn't
it.
go down that route. Well done, Jeremy. At least you went good with
You
that.
could ask us how we could prove the Foucault pendulum. Why don't you put the shit in a vacuum? You've never done it in a vacuum. I know why. Because you depend on friction. You depend on all these different
No, moron.
different
It does not
vectors
depend
of
on friction.
The
Nobody
pendulum
else
would
would
work
have
better
to
in a vacuum
You're a
without
liar.
friction. Oh,
You
you
guys are
moron.
bullshitters.
Hello?
Fuck. A Foucault pendulum in a vacuum, huh?
You guys are. I know why you don't do it. I know
So,
why
so
you
are
don't
the
do it.
breezes the opposite way in the southern
We
hemisphere
got
that cause it to
Cavendish
do that?
coming in. We got Cavendish coming in a vacuum real soon.
Cavendish
thanks
done
to,
Cavendish in a
I
vacuum.
Biodual.
hope they do. I would
They've done
actually
Cavendish in
hope
a
they do
vacuum.
Cavendish.
Guess what? It works.
No,
It works.
yeah, let's
doesn't
see it. Let's see it.
Well,
You're
Let's
not
see
gonna
the
do
video.
I had that one. They did it
You're
the other
not
day.
familiar with that, Jeremy.
The video.
You're not
We
familiar
want
with
the
Cavendish
video.
vacuum.
We want it on video. If it ain't
on
on video, it
video.
don't
Because
count.
if it's not,
Oh,
on
I
YouTube,
could
it's
write
not
anything
science,
down.
right?
I could
There's a
write you
song-
got had sex with a unicorn last night. Does that
Jeremy,
mean
there's
it
a
happened?
No, I wouldn't believe you because they like people with two eyes,
They
but
lie
that's another
about all
issue.
this shit, man.
So, Jeremy, there is a scientific institution, I can't remember where, I think it might be Massachusetts or Boston or something, that actually has a whole part of a physics department devoted to measuring G with more
You got
sophisticated
Cavendish in the
versions of
vacuum or no?
And they do it in a vacuum, yes. They do it in a vacuum.
Let's see the video of it. Let's see
I
the
don't know
video.
whether they've done a video, but there are lots of papers they've
Well, of
published. I
course,
can
this
show you
day and age, you would definitely. That's not something you would
Why?
record this day and
Why?
age. Why would you
Why?
record that, right?
They're not-
Yeah, why would you record?
videos
Because
are not
people,
peer
because
reviewed.
scientists, because scientists are not swayed by YouTube.
I
videos,
can go to
moron.
YouTube. I can go to YouTube right now and find a video
YouTube
of
is not a
grass
science
growing,
book.
or
Yeah.
I can find a video on
YouTube is not a
YouTube of
science
grass
book.
Science has
growing.
been for centuries and
Scientists
still
do
is
not publish
performed
on
through
YouTube.
published paper.
Can I finish the sentence, or you guys gonna be nutcases? I'll just go back
No,
to what
you're
I
gonna
was
be a
doing before.
nutcase. My fucking god, I can't believe this shit.
Now I can go on YouTube and watch paint drying or grass growing, or I can listen to an alarm going
Those are
off
easy
for 12
to do,
hours.
and they're not scientifically
Oh
verified.
my
They're not
God,
peer reviewed, are
Rumpus.
they? They're not peer reviewed, are they? They're not refereed,
I
are
didn't
they?
even get to my point, but you
You
guys
are,
are being
because
nutcases. It's
well,
Friday.
Jared,
I
you
forgot.
know
I
that
forgot it's
scientific papers
Friday,
are
and
peer
Rumpus
reviewed.
got
YouTube
that
isn't peer reviewed, is it? Come
verbal
on.
diarrhea disease of the mouth.
Rumpus, literally, that's so disingenuous for you to say the shit that you're doing right now. Like, dude, if you could give us Foucault
That's just
pendulums,
nutter. That's just nutter.
Hold on,
Don't
shut
like
up.
it.
No, listen.
Don't like science.
You don't want me to
No,
finish.
science is
Listen.
nasty. Don't tell me about
You could
science,
do
please.
Foucault. You could do Cavendish in a vacuum. Why don't you? It's 2021.
We
you
have.
coward.
I'm in the
You
process of
haven't
getting a
and you
paper.
won't. You fucking liar.
I'm in the process. Let me just get the paper for you.
You're such a bullshitter, dude.
I'm about to show that you're a wanker, and I can prove that this has been done.
You don't have a Foucault
You're an
pendulum
odious
in a
little twat, aren't you? You really are. Really. I'm about to demonstrate the website of the institution that does this stuff, Cavendish in a vacuum. Give me a moment.
If you don't have it on video, the shit don't count.
Hey, Jeremy,
bro. I
Jeremy.
can write
Because
anything down.
Scientific papers are less than, because YouTube videos are
I can
better
write-
than scientific papers.
Peyton
So,
asked to show
Jeremy,
I can write
whether
down
you-
on
whether you
paper.
No,
like it
you
or
cannot
not.
write
I
a
could write
scientific
down on
paper
Oh
and get
my
it
God.
published. You cannot write a scientific paper
I'm
and get
done
it
talking to
published.
you guys tonight. You guys are being
You
like
cannot
animals.
write a scientific
Jeremy,
paper and just get
Jeremy.
it published, you moron.
Jeremy, what happens if it actually it starts moving? Then does that will you be a baller then if it does start moving in the vacuum?
Hell no, chemo's bugging.
Well, so what the
bro.
fuck? So why the fuck are you balling about it then? Why are you
Chemo
insisting
wants
on
it.
this
I'm looking out.
experiment?
I'm looking out for my boy Chemo. He's looking for Cavendish in the vacuum.
No. Hold on. Chemo's a bullshitter. If anybody in
Get
the
the
flat
fuck
Earth...
out.
No, he's
Chemo's the
not.
man,
That's
bro.
bullshit.
No.
Chemo's
we're
the
done.
fucking man, bro. You ain't
Dude,
shit.
Chemo's fallen apart the last 24
Yeah, he
hours.
can fuck off the
The guy's been
campaign.
broken
Point like
twice.
the
Guess
tops
what?
of arrows.
He's
You
not
guys
going to
are
show up in
tripping.
a flat Earth position. He's not going to show up in a flat Earth server and debate flat Earth. He's going to hang around with the trolls and shoot
He
the shit with those guys.
debates all day. You guys are
No,
so
You're fucking
Cleanser,
confused, Jeremy.
or
Are
who's
you
your
fucking
name?
kidding me?
Sin Cleanser, don't be retarded, bro. He brings it to the professional Globers all day. These Rumpus and these idiots.
Globers.
And he's been doing it for 6 years.
That's
that I
why
know
he's so good.
That I've known
That's why
him.
he's so good.
Exactly.
And you guys are full of shit.
Exactly.
Don't give me that shit. Chemo's the fucking man. No one ever heard of you, Sin Cleansers.
Yeah,
Go suck a dick.
I know. I've known Chemo for years. I've known Chemo
You
for
too,
years.
Alec.
It's
Chemo's
maybe
got it
5
all
or
over
6
you
years.
too. You ain't shit compared to Chemo.
Yeah, what about it? What is it, a competition?
Hold on.
I was
I'm
actually,
just saying, I
so
don't know why you're
wait,
sitting here knocking him. He's a fucking man.
Hey, stop, what are you
Why
attacking
you
me for?
sitting here knocking Chemo, bro?
I was
Brings it to
sticking
the
up for him.
Globers every day. Where the fuck are you at?
Where am I at?
Hey,
Where am I at?
Jeremy,
I was doing that way before you. Listen, I've been doing it for fucking years, mate. Way before you were ever
We're talking
fucking.
about Chemo. Now we're talking about me. I bring it to the
No, you were
Globers
just
more
talking
than
about
do.
you. You were
No,
saying
I
where the
said
fuck am
Chemo.
I?
I said
Yeah,
Chemo
but
brings
you
it to
asked
the
where the fuck
You guys
am
are
I?
trying to
But you
sit here
said where the
and put
fuck
Chemo
am
down
I?
and saying Chemo ain't shit.
I was agreeing.
You guys are sitting here
I was
saying Chemo
agreeing
ain't
with
shit.
I was agreeing, Jeremy. I was agreeing that Chemo's been around for fucking years. I was sticking up for the guy, you dick.
All right, well,
And then you're asking me, where am I? Where am I? I've got better things to fucking do than go on some fucking channel. Hey, dick.
Relax,
I've got-
Ali. I thought you guys. I
No,
thought you were on
no, you
with this
relax.
dickhead Sin
You
Cleanser.
relax. You
I
relax.
thought you were with this dickhead Sin
You
Cleanser
relax. Well,
dissing Chemo.
yeah, again, as I said to Rumpus, see what happens when you start thinking, Jeremy. You should fucking stop it, because you're way off the fucking mark. Stop doing that. Stop fucking doing it. And the thing is, and Sin Cleanser as well, Chemo's been around for fucking years, and he is one of the best debaters on
I know, they're pissing me off.
Yes, he is. 100%, man.
No.
100%.
Pick it up.
Just because he can talk the language that they talk and interact with them, right? You're calling like you call me.
Talk you into bullshit and you've been entranced.
Okay, give me 2 things and whatever you want, and I'll pick it up.
No, listen. I don't care if Jeremy or Ali B. I don't care if you go on Gym Pandas and you suck that shit up. I don't care. You're not gonna have actual flat earthers buy into that fucking mantra. No chance. I talk to actual flat earthers. They're not buying into anything Chemo or fucking Ranty or anything even Jeremy wants to think about, because we're actually protecting what it means to be a flat earther. You're not going to get tricked by some sort of stupid ass fucking idiot on the internet.
Oh, so you're the police. You're the flat earth police.
As a real flat earther, you're immune from any facts or proof.
Come to the day, man.
You're a fucking joke.
Yeah, no proof, no facts. We're flat earthers because we think it.
We have proof.
Who needs facts? I don't need facts. I'm a flat earther.
Ranty was never a fucking honest flat earther. And Jeremy, if you want to go on that fucking boat, I'll let that boat fucking sink with
a dick, dude. That's all I gotta say to you.
What a joke, man. No, it's a joke.
Chemo's the man.
You guys jump ship when you see refraction. What a fucking joke. Are you kidding me?
I never jump ship. I haven't jumped ship.
Be like Sin Cleanser and just ignore everything. Don't ignore half the stuff. Ignore everything.
We've been
Sin Cleanser ignores everything, no matter what the proof.
Refraction and everything else for this long.
So what's the rules and regulations? What are flat earthers allowed to talk about? Read me the rule book. What are we allowed to talk about? You tell us, Sin Cleanser. Go on, you tell us what we're allowed to talk. Go on, tell us what we're allowed to talk about.
You're gonna jump in it now.
Go on, tell us what we're allowed to talk. What are we not allowed to talk about, Sin Cleanser?
If you're gonna get fucked up by things,
what are we not? What are we not? Answer the fucking question and stop acting like a baller. Answer the question. What are we allowed to talk about, and what are we not allowed to talk about? Please inform me. As a flat earther.
All right, as a flat earther, Mr. Ali B, listen, we got a lot of flat.
What am I allowed to talk about? Tell me, because I'm a bit confused. Go for it.
How about you dial it back and listen in?
Give it to him, Ali.
Off you go then.
Yeah.
On you go then. Tell me.
Apparently, we got a lot of dumbass flat earthers that got fucked up with refraction whenever we talked about them with that. AK Ranty, AK you're dumbass, AK probably about 15 other globers.
What about refraction? What about it?
Happening.
You don't even understand what light is.
You guys are such liars. I don't want you a part of it. If you don't understand
fuck off then. Why don't you fuck off?
fuck out of here.
Why don't you
Lie about
fuck
it
off and go
somewhere else.
back to your echo chamber?
You're not a
Or we
flat
go back to your
earther.
echo
You're a
chamber
liar.
that you sit in.
You're a
Go
liar.
back and talk to your flat earthers. Go back and talk to
What?
your other flat
You're a
earthers.
liar. You don't know shit about light. You don't know shit about refraction. You think the Earth curves every fucking
What's
day.
light then? What's light? What's light?
Yo, sorry, Ali. I thought you were talking shit about chemo, like this guy Sin Cleanser. That's why.
No, I wasn't. Are you joking, man? He was one of the first. He was one of the first people I talked to. My first panel. Issa Bahalski, Pete Shea.
I'm just saying, he's there. He brings it to the ballers 10 hours a day at least. He's over there bringing.
I know
it to
he
the
does.
ballers.
I know he does.
Right.
He's been doing it for fucking years as well. I've got nothing
Yeah,
respect for him. So, and these noobs, like these people
Fucking
that seem to be
noobs,
coming. Wait a minute. These people that seem to be coming on the scene and telling people what to fucking talk about. To me, that's censorship. Don't fucking tell me what the reason that I was a flat earther and the reason that I'm anti-government is because nobody has a fucking right to tell me what to say and what to fucking think. So, as a flat earther, that's my fucking philosophy. If you want to have ball earth and ball earth philosophy mixed in with your fucking flat earth philosophy, go ahead.
Hey, Ali,
I'm all about freedom of speech and I'll talk about what I want to fucking talk about. Yeah, go for it.
You wanna
Go
talk?
talk away. Yeah. Stop calling me a fucking liar, though.
I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna say you're a liar, but holy shit, man, where you been? I used to listen to every day on Nathan Nucleus for so long, hearing you was one of the fucking contributors to his channel. Now all of a sudden, we have a whole bunch of different flat earthers that all of a sudden forgot about fucking refraction, optics, all that shit they toss out the window. Ranty, a bunch of other dumbasses that forgot about perspective. What the hell is happening with you guys?
What are you talking
off
about,
the fucking
dude?
retard in.
What are you even talking about?
Wait a minute.
You and Ranty and every other fucking dumbass that forgot about perspective and angles and diffraction
Oh,
and
I
everything
forgot
else.
about it. I know.
No,
What do you
I'm
mean
not
forgot
talking
about
about
him?
you specifically, Jeremy.
Right.
Stop including yourself.
Who
But
forgot
no,
about who forgot about perspective? You're just talking shit, Sin. Stop getting drunk before the shows, please.
Oh, is he drunk? How are you enjoying it, Brandon? Is it a good show?
Yeah, I mean, you know, what the fuck? I'll just listen in and
Yo, don't anyone ever try to
moderating is
listen.
great, by the way. It's great.
Listen.
You know, we're kind of sorting out. Sorry, Jeremy.
Don't anyone ever try to diss chemo. He puts in more work. He puts in work like Rambo. He's over there 10, 12 hours a day giving them hell in the fucking professional Glover server. I don't want to hear that shit.
Well, you're gonna hear it now because I think there are certain people in this community that entertain bullshitters, and if you're gonna lie and entertain people's ideas for the sake of entertainment, fuck off. I don't want to hear it. There's a lot of people in the flat Earth community that say, "Oh, let's shoot the shit and hang out." They're absolutely fucking liars. These
So
are the
what
same
clique?
types
What
of
clique
people-
are you in? What Sin Cleanser? What clique? What clique are you in then? Which one are you?
Fuck off.
No, your
Chemo.
clique. What's your
Fuck
clique?
you off the
What?
car is enough.
Are you? What clique are you in? Are you in the Cleary Bev clique or the Nathan Oakley clique or which one are you in? Which clique?
Well,
talking
I
about?
moderate over on Nathan Oakley's. And
There you go. There you go.
We
All
like
right,
to
so that's
fuck
the
people
clique.
off that are bullshitters. Yeah, we fuck them off forever, don't we?
You're a moderator?
Oh, you
Is that
said,
what you said,
oh, we. Oh, sorry.
No, that's
I thought they took your mods yesterday.
No, I get it back as much as I ever got it.
Oh, you got them back? Okay.
Well, no, listen, here's the thing. The server over there...
We don't care, bro. We don't care.
Very
Listen,
large,
you're an idiot. We don't care about if you're a mod or not. All right?
I didn't fucking ask you for your
I'm
opinion
telling
about
you.
whether I am or not.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't care if you care. That's not my fucking argument.
I don't care if you care if I care.
Yeah, okay, so...
I was a mod once. I was a mod once.
Listen, I don't care who the fuck is a mod and who's not. My problem is that you have a lot of
You
people...
mentioned that
Listen, Ali B, chill out.
as if it was some kind of important. I'm chilled with it. I'm having a great time.
I'm not doing... Listen,
I'm having a great fucking time. I'm loving it.
You're asking me where I'm coming from. I'm telling you where my perspective is. Listen, Ali, chill.
You forgot about perspective.
I never asked you. I don't really care your perspective
Yeah,
because
you don't really
by
care,
calling
but
me a liar,
like, you're
by
gonna be
calling me a liar, dude, by calling me a liar and calling everybody liars that don't, that like to, oh, we're fanboys. Oh dear, that's low level gaslighting. That's gaslighting for dummies.
It's not that we're a chemo fan, but real recognized
you're messing with the wrong dude.
Chemos more than anybody else. You fucking joker.
Soy boy.
Me and Chemo over
soy boy.
Go on there and fucking talk to those jokers. Okay,
me and
fine.
Chemo over there bringing it to them all day, every day.
I'm gonna cut you out as soon as I can, and I will.
Cut me
because
out of
you're
what?
not serious about it. If you want to actually talk to us, yeah. If you want to actually talk about flat Earth, we're here. We'll do it. We do it all the fucking time. You're gonna talk about a bunch of trolls and fucking divine your thoughts by a bunch of these liars. Go ahead. That's why we keep Chemo out. That's why we keep a bunch of these bullshitters out like Ranty.
What do you mean keep Chemo out? He has his own room in your fucking room that you're a fake mod in. What are you talking about?
When's the last time he showed up?
He has a room named after him in the server that you're a fake mod in, bro. What are you talking about?
Showed up. You tell me.
Who cares? He'll show up wherever he wants, whenever he wants. He's the fucking man.
Shit, do you, Jeremy? Unfortunately, you don't know shit.
Chemo was here yesterday. Now what?
He was here today, and
you think QE likes you or Chemo more?
Right, anyway, never mind talking about Chemo. I'm more interested in Sync Cleanser. Where is it you hang out then that I can come across and have a discussion with you?
He's in Science versus Pseudoscience.
Where's that?
It's the server Oakley runs his room out of.
I know, I'm not welcome over there.
Hey, did you guys notice what happened? Rumpus and what's his face came in, and then they got you arguing with each other and fucking deciding who's got the bigger flat earther dick. And then they shut the fuck up.
I've got the biggest. Hey, there's no doubt about it. They
got us. Yeah, they got us.
But I don't get. Well, it's like it's all part of the show, isn't it? Really, that's what gives a bit of excitement about it. And you even specifically said, Brandon, that we don't need ball earthers in there to argue amongst ourselves.
I did say that, and I was right.
They can manage perfectly well ourselves.
I wasn't exaggerating.
So there you go. Yeah, but it's good though, isn't it? Well,
it's all good, man. It's Friday night fights. You guys do whatever the fuck you want.
I just hate it when people say liars. I mean, that like Sync Cleanser was calling that NASA shell's a liar. No, he's not a liar. He fucking believes that. He believes that shit.
He can believe
These people believe this shit. This is what you've got to understand. A lot of them do. There's some of them that don't. But the majority of these fuckers, they believe it. They believe it.
Not belief, Allie.
He's a fucking retard. That paid NASA shit. He's a fucking retard.
It's not a belief.
Allie, I will 100% side with you on that one, bro.
Yeah,
it's not a belief, though.
The computer.
No, but it is a belief. Look, right, here we go. I'll prove it's a belief just for the fact that science can't prove anything, right? So your belief is based on a belief.
Stuff, though.
Yeah, but it can't prove anything.
Yeah, we can disprove that the Earth is flat, though.
Yeah, I can do that.
No,
you're a fucking idiot.
Wait a minute, but it can't prove anything.
Right. Well, when you get
so that means it's proven. But wait a minute, that means it's proven the Earth is flat. So, but science can't prove it.
No, it's disproven that the Earth is flat.
No, it's proven it's not flat, then, isn't it? But it can't prove anything. If it disproves something, that means it's proven something. It's the same thing, dude. Stop. Forget it.
When you understand the difference between proving it true and proving it false, there's a difference there, sir.
Proving it true, but you're proving it either way. And as science can't prove anything, can't prove anything, but you're proving fucking jack shit. No, it can't. Yeah, but it's still proving something.
False.
But it's still proving something.
It can prove things to be false.
But science can't prove anything.
Science cannot prove things to be true.
But you'll never understand that.
No, you won't understand the difference between proving things false and proving things true.
So it's true that it's false then?
If you want to say it that way, okay.
Right, so that means it's been proven that it's false. But science can't prove. But science can't. No, but you just agreed with what I said now.
Well, the thing is, you don't understand what you're saying.
No, I do.
No, you don't.
Do you want me to explain what I said now?
Let me explain what you said. Science can disprove things. You can prove things to be false. You cannot
That's
prove
what you
things to
said.
be true.
That's what you said, but that's proven.
No, that's what
that
science
it's
says,
not
sir.
true then. But that's proven it's not true, which
No,
means
okay.
it's proven.
Okay, no.
So, but
it's
science cannot
it's
prove
proven,
anything.
It's
You don't
proven
understand.
to be
Can you see
false.
what you're saying? Can you understand what you're saying?
Can you
But
understand what you're
proving-
saying? That the difference
but
between proving
science
things
can't
false
prove
and proving
anything.
things true?
No,
No, science cannot.
it's the
prove
word.
things
It's the
are
word,
true.
my friend.
You don't
can't.
understand the difference.
Science
It's a very
can't prove.
slight difference.
It can't prove it's true, and it can't prove it's false.
It can't. No, that's wrong. The second part of that statement is wrong.
So science can prove things.
That science can disprove things.
But that's proven. It's not true then, right? No, but it's proven the statement's not true.
It's disproven.
But science can't prove it. No, but it's proven the statement's not true, right?
You don't understand what you're saying.
No, it's proving the statement's not true, yes or no. It's quite simple. You're saying it disproves something. So therefore, that is a proof. That is a proof that something's not true. And as science can't prove anything, therefore that's a fucking...
Science can disprove things. Come on. Are you really this stupid, or are you just playing to be stupid?
No.
Can I just say what demonstrate the difference is? The point is we're talking about... right. The difference is when we talk about disproving something, that's about the physical world. When you say you're proving that, that's a logical argument about what our disproof is. So you can prove if you have something that's shown to be true or false, like disproving something, you can then say it's true that thing is false. So you're using logical inversion there, using logic.
But it can't prove them.
Hold on. The key point is...
that's logic, isn't it?
Let me finish. But the key point starts off with a physical observation. You're talking about the logic with which you can apply to the conclusion. So there's a different argument you're using to say things
So
are true.
science is not logic. Science is not logic.
No. Indeed, it isn't logic. That's the whole point about science. That's why it's not
all right, there you go then. So why should we believe it then? If it's not logical, why should we believe it?
Because we can't prove it. Yes, that's a good point. Because the whole point about science, remember the definition that I gave you earlier? Remember I gave you the definition about the physical and natural world. That's
which was totally wrong. Which was totally wrong.
Which is completely correct.
Totally wrong.
And that
obviously you never looked it up.
On the behavior of the physical natural world, and therefore it's not like logic, it's not like mathematics, which are also about knowledge, they're not science. They are not science, and that's why knowledge is not the same as natural physical. And that's why, because it's dependent on a measurement, science is dependent on a measurement of the physical and natural world. And that's different from logic, it's different from mathematics. And if you then start using the result of that measurement of the physical and natural world, you can then play around that result with logic like you're doing and saying you're disproving or proving the thing that's disproved. Well, that's a logical argument you're using on top of the physical.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what it is. Well, what's wrong with logic? Is there something wrong with logic?
No, what Shill's saying
so
is that
science is illogical.
We can only disprove things by measurements. We can say this is not happening. And so, whereas the reason you can't do an affirmative is because there could be something else.
So you're proving it's not happening. But you're proving it's not happening, though.
But that's a logical operation you're doing to the result.
No. Right, but wait a minute.
You're saying it's true that it's false. You're saying
that
it's true that it's false, but that's a logical operation you're putting on top of the physical observation.
Which I've every right to do.
Two different things going on here. One is the physical observation that something has not happened. And then you're saying by twisting out the logic applied it, you say, well, it's true then that you found something's not true. Indeed, that's the case. And you say, well, therefore it's true. But you've applied a logical operation to the conclusion that Schill was talking about. So you can play around with that, but you're not talking about the observation, the physical and natural world observation, which is what Schill's is talking about. And we can show that didn't happen. The thing you're looking for did not occur.
Right, so you proved it didn't happen. You proved it, but you just take your
Rumpus, why are you so stupid? Why are you so stupid, Rumpus?
You're too stupid. You're not qualified.
Why are you and Peanut so stupid?
Data, you don't even know.
Why are you and Peanut so stupid?
Data, you're not.
Why are you guys so stupid? Just answer the question. Why are you guys so
know what
stupid?
speed is. Why would you?
Why are you so stupid?
Hey,
why are you guys so stupid? Is that RC talking now?
What happens in the focal pendulum? If you're so smart, explain to me what happens in the focal pendulum.
Hey, RC.
NASA.
Didn't you say yesterday? Didn't you say yesterday that the Earth doesn't rotate under anything?
NASA paid.
Hello, Mr. Smart.
Didn't you say that, RC? The Earth doesn't rotate under anything. That's what you said yesterday, right, RC?
You tell me, Data.
Hey,
how the focal pendulum works.
Didn't you say that yesterday that the Earth doesn't rotate under anything?
Why are you asking what a focal pendulum is? You can't even define speed.
So, RC, did you tell me yesterday that the Earth doesn't rotate under anything?
How the focal pendulum works.
No, paid NASA show.
Yeah, so you
What is
didn't.
speed? He can't.
You
he
did
can't
it,
even
right?
understand speed.
So RC, you told me that the Earth doesn't rotate under anything, but yet you got your boys here talking about a pendulum and
Mikey,
a
that's very
deviation.
interesting because I tried to get Data to explain acceleration to me and he couldn't. So I think you're absolutely right.
So
You know
you
what
guys
acceleration
claim.
is, Data?
So hey,
Hello, Data,
Rumpus,
explain to me
does
the
the
focal
Earth
pendulum, please.
does the Earth rotate under
Data,
the pendulum,
focal pendulum.
Rumpus?
Go.
Again with the
Go.
focal pendulum.
Rumpus, does
Okay,
the Earth rotate
I
under
want
the
Data to
pendulum,
explain me how the
Rumpus?
focal pendulum works. He says that our explanation is incorrect, so explain to me how it works, Data.
So it's a reification. You're just observing
It's not a reification,
something.
moron.
That's all it is.
Explain me how
It's
it
a
works.
reification. That's all
Don't
it
tell
is.
me, Data. Do not tell me how
There's
I
no
think
science
the focal
behind it,
pendulum works.
guys. There's no
Data,
science
explain
behind
to me
it,
how
right?
the focal pendulum works.
There's no
How do you
science
know-
behind it,
What do
right?
you mean there's no science behind it? There's science
There's no
behind it.
science
You tell me
behind
how
it.
it works.
It proves nothing,
you tell
right?
me. You
There's
tell me
no
how it
science behind it, therefore it doesn't prove anything, right?
Shells,
If
have
there's
you
no
ever seen
science
a
behind
focal
it-
pendulum?
Oh, Data,
Ask-
I don't want you. Data, explain to me how
have
the focal
you
pendulum
ever
works.
seen a focal pendulum work
Yes, I
then?
have.
Right, and how does it work?
Well, I don't know. Data's going to tell me.
Oh, you don't know? Oh, well, someone
Yeah,
will
Data's
write
gonna
that.
tell
He
me.
does know, Ali. He
Alright.
does know. He's just like
He just
Data
said he
No,
didn't know.
Data,
He said, I
no.
don't
The
know.
Data told me I'm wrong, so he's got to tell me how it works.
No, he doesn't know how it works.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't
I-
know.
I do know how it
think-
works, actually.
I think
No,
Data.
you don't. Did you
Data
prove
knows
it?
better, so he's going
How
to tell
did you
me.
prove it?
Data
I
is
think
Mr.
Data
Focal
prove it.
Pendulum here.
I
Is
think
the
Data
focal
would explain to
pendulum
us-
is the
I think
focal
Data ought to
pendulum
explain
a
what
scientific
acceleration is.
experiment?
Before he's allowed
Yeah.
to
Is
say
a
anything else, I
focal
think he should-
pendulum
he
a
should define
scientific
what
experiment?
acceleration is.
So it's a measurement.
Right, wait a
Thank you
minute.
very much.
NASA shows. Is the focal pendulum a scientific experiment?
Yes.
Right, okay, so science doesn't prove fuck all, so that proves fuck all, right?
Yeah, it doesn't prove it,
Yeah.
but it shows it's very probably true. That's
Oh,
what
right,
I'm talking about.
well, so it never proved it. So, right,
Correct,
good.
it doesn't
Now,
prove
we're
anything.
moving. We're moving
work,
now. So
Alex.
now it's
All the evidence
probably.
we have
Oh, so
demonstrates the
everything.
moving.
So how come your computer works? That started off as a scientific experiment. Yeah, you guys don't know shit.
That's applied sciences there, Numpty.
Excuse me, that was on
Data,
Club.
Yeah,
Data,
that was
you're listening. Please explain to me how the focal pendulum works. You're Mr. Smarty Pants here.
So if you're telling me that the Earth is supposed to,
you.
I don't want you to
How
tell
old
me.
are you, for
I don't want you to tell
fuck's
how I think the focal pendulum works, Data. I want you to explain how the focal pendulum works on your flat, non-spinning.
it doesn't
whatever.
work. It's
What do you mean
not
it doesn't
a
work?
scientific measurement. It's
Well,
nothing to
true.
do
What
with
do you mean? You can
science
watch
at
it
all.
process. How does
We
that
can
work
measure-
on the flat Earth?
We've got
You
videos
can sit
of it
there and
moving.
watch the damn
Data.
thing process.
Again, it has nothing to do with science
Explain to
at
me how
all.
it moves.
It's a
Data.
construct. That's
No,
all.
What do you mean it's a construct? You mean it's
That's
fake?
all it is. You're hanging a
have an
string
effect.
with a
Don't
weight
say
on the
that.
end of
Have
it.
an effect.
You're
You
looking
can watch
at
it
its
knock over the
oscillation
skin.
pattern, and then you
can
go,
have
"Oh,
an
it's oscillating."
We have
Therefore,
an
the Earth
effect.
is rotating underneath it,
We
right?
have an effect in
I
the
don't.
natural
Is that your
world,
explanation? Data.
and we'd
Welcome,
like you to
welcome to the
explain
globe
it.
Earth. Thank you very much.
It's an
So
effect in the
again, it's a
physical natural
reification.
world.
It's not
It's not
based
a
in
reification,
science.
Data.
Explain it.
It's a
do not
man-made
explain to me how
construct.
I think the
Nothing
focal
to do
pendulum
with
works.
science.
You guys know we
Explain
can
to
hear
me
you, right?
how the focal pendulum works on your flat, non-moving Earth.
So again, it's just
No, shut up.
it's a
Tell
construct
me.
made by man
No, it's
that
an
has a
effect.
has a
It's a-
phenomenon
It's
based on the device
a
that it
phenomenon.
is.
No,
It has nothing
wrong.
to do with the Earth rotation. Nothing to
Wrong.
do with anything. It's
Then how
just
do you account
a
for it?
It just does it
reification
because it just
from a
does it
man-made.
because
I'll give you an
it's a
example.
pendulum.
Do you
It's a
remember the
pendulum.
old? Do you remember the old wives' tale thing where you to find out you're pregnant, you would take a needle and a thread, and you'd you basically have
Data,
the
what are you
needle and
talking about? Are you
thread.
having a stroke?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
This? What's that got to do with the
So
price of fish?
so the
We've got an
pendulum
effect, Data. We want you to
motion.
explain it.
The pendulum
can you
motion.
Hey, I don't want to hear about a
rotation.
wives' tale. I want you to explain to me how the
We don't
focal
care
pendulum
about
works.
pregnancy.
The pendulum's motion
Oh, come
has
on.
nothing to do with anything of the Earth whatsoever.
Then
It's
why
a
does it do it?
construct
Explain it to us then.
It doesn't.
made
Why
by
does
a
it move
man
differently? Why
who
does it
put a
move
weight
differently
on the
different
end of
places
a
on the Earth?
string and
Why
then
does
saw
it
an
move
oscillation
differently on
pattern.
different places on the Earth?
So,
Why if I take the
according
same-
to
Let him
Look,
explain.
Data,
Let's see what
Earth.
he understands first.
He doesn't understand
So-
shit. That's what his deal is.
so
I
the
know,
old
but let
wives
him show.
the old wives' tale was if I take a needle and a
I
thread.
don't want to hear
and
about the old wives' tale. I want to hear about the
Let me
focal
finish.
pendulum.
Let me
Data,
finish.
you
It's in
do
the
it
same. It's in the same
Data,
vein,
you
right?
accept that the thing rotates.
It's in the
We've got
same vein.
videos of focal pendulums changing their angle of rotate of the angle swing
Yeah.
throughout
First
the
of
whole
all,
world. We've got videos of this.
First of all, here's the reality. Here's the reality. Here's the reality by your observation.
We've got a phenomenon.
Here's the reality of your observation.
Okay, you can explain.
Man gets it started, and a magnet keeps it moving. So it's not a natural phenomenon. Number one.
You don't need a magnet.
Number two. Number two.
Magnets in
What are you guys afraid of? What are you guys afraid of?
You just made that up, Data.
What magnet?
What are you afraid of?
Magnet.
They're running
So
scared, man.
The original focal pendulum does not have a magnet.
A man pushes it or releases it. A man pushes or releases
No, he
it.
doesn't. He doesn't.
Then
push
he
it.
observes. Then he observes an oscillation. That's what he is.
Oscillation?
Oh my god.
Oscillation. Okay.
The string or the
going
wave,
on?
whatever, it's oscillating back and forth.
You are a
It's
moron.
deviating back and forth.
Yes.
Is what you're observing.
That's
And then,
correct. Got
and
that
then
bit
you
correct.
say, okay, so in the same vein, what the old wives' tale used to be is you take a string
my
and a
God.
needle.
No, we're not interested in pregnancy.
And I move and I
We're
hang it over the
interested in
hand.
you
Let me finish.
explaining
Let me
why
finish.
The
Let me
oscillation
finish.
changes angle, and that's dependent on latitude. That's what we want
That-
to know.
let me finish.
We're not interested
that
in pregnancy.
This
Thank you very much.
observation, which was done back in the day before the Foucault pendulum, you would hang the
We're not
needle and
interested in
thread.
pregnancy. We don't
You'd
care.
hang the needle and thread.
We
You'd
don't
hang the
care
needle.
about pregnancy.
Let me finish. You'd hang over the thread and needle over the person's hand, and depending on which way it would oscillate, whether it would be in a circle pattern.
I've never heard about this one.
Yeah, but that's not
Okay,
persistent.
hold on. Hold
Yeah,
on.
but
On the
we're
same
not
vein, in the
interested
same
in
vein.
data.
In the
interested
same
in something
vein.
repeatable.
Has
That's
nothing to do
not
with the focal
repeatable
pendulum.
data.
Okay.
That's
So-
not repeatable. We don't care.
So
This
you-
is in
yeah.
the scientific
So,
literature we've got.
can
We're
you
not
show-
interested in folk
Rumpus,
stories.
can you
We're
show me-
interested in established
Yeah.
data.
Can
We're
you
not
show
interested in
me-
folk stories.
Can you show me the pendulum at North Pole deviating at 15 degrees? Can you show
Yeah,
me
We
that?
have
That's
done it
South
in the
Pole.
Antarctic. You've done it there,
It's
South
done in
Pole.
South Pole.
Oh, it's the Antarctic, but not the North Pole, right? But every piece of
Why not
article that you read about the pendulum talks about being in the North Pole, and if you're at
Well,
the
it's a
North
difficult
Pole,
place.
It does
North
the
it
Pole
would,
South
moves
Pole.
it would
around.
deviate
It's an eye
15,
with that,
15
you
degrees.
moron.
Have you
You
familiar
can't
with
show
the
me.
North
You can't
Pole?
show it to me. It's only written in
I can show
paper.
you the
Noted.
South Pole.
Oh my god.
In the
There's the South
same
Pole.
vein as observing the pattern of oscillation, whatever you want to say, oscillating pattern.
Oscillation. Got it.
Yeah,
Oscillation. I like it.
Yeah.
The oscillating pattern, yeah.
Now, the pattern
The
of
oscillating
oscillation-
pattern has either one motion or the other motion. And they are conflating those motions between boy or girl. This is something that the old
no, this
wives'
is
tales used to do on
Totally
the
incorrect with
pendulum,
the
on the
focal pendulum.
pendulum swing,
Totally
and the
incorrect, Data.
oscillating
You're just
pattern that it would
obscuring
have.
You're obscuring
So
it
you're
with some
doing
bullshit.
the same thing. What you do is you cannot prove curvature. You
I
cannot
don't
prove
care
the
what
Earth
I'm
is
doing, Data.
rotating.
Listen to me.
What
I
you
don't fucking
do
care. Data.
is you have a construct.
Data. Shut the
You have
fuck
a
up and listen.
construct.
Data.
You have a construct.
Data.
Let me know when I
do
can
not-
speak, guys.
Data.
Let me know.
Changing the subject,
Data.
Data.
I want you to. I do not want you to explain how I think the focal pendulum works. I want you to explain how the focal pendulum works on your flat, stationary Earth. Oh, go.
And we've established it changes with latitude, and with these are
Okay.
established
So
things.
unless
We've got-
you
and we've
can
even
show
had the
me,
word Antarctica.
unless you can show me it oscillating from the North Pole at a 15
Why?
degree,
Why
like
do
it's
we need to
supposed
show you
to.
that, Data?
Why
Why do we
won't
need to
all
show
the
you
other
that?
places do?
They're not gonna
Why
do that.
won't all the
Because-
other places do
Because
data?
The
all
North
of the
Pole is the
paperwork.
freaking ice thing in the middle.
Let me know
No,
when you guys are done.
If we
No,
were, why?
Data, I want you to tell me. I do not want you to tell me how I think the focal pendulum works. You tell me how you think the focal pendulum works, and go.
And
Yeah,
the
come on,
fact
Data,
that-
go,
The fact
go,
that we haven't
go,
done
Data.
this experiment
There
at the North
you
Pole
go.
does
Show
not
the man
invalidate
that-
all the other places we've done it. And doing it at the North Pole is a very difficult place to be because it's a floating ice pack. So just because we haven't done it there does not invalidate all the other places, including the South Pole, where we've established the pattern comports with the theory.
Hey, Rumpus, can I ask you a question?
You can, given the data's a moron.
How can you draw a tangent point to the geometric horizon?
Hello,
if you
Data.
If you include
Data,
a
we're waiting
fraction?
on for you.
I'm happy to do
Shut
that,
up,
Don,
Skills, for fuck's sake.
but I mean, if Data's not going to talk, Chill, do you mind if I move on to
So
this question?
if you have this observation, how is the observation completed when it's not actually done at the North Pole to get its
They're not gonna do it.
accuracy?
It's been
We
done
haven't
at the
done-
South Pole.
So
you
it's been done at the
moron.
South Pole, but not the North Pole, right?
So what? The North Pole's a freaking.
The problem is that there is no South Pole. right?
There is a South
there's
Pole,
definitely
actually.
there's
They've done
definitely
it.
a North Pole, but there's no South Pole.
Oh, you idiot!
Right?
They've done it.
There's no direct South Pole
Yes, there is a direct
star
South
that
Pole. People are
is
there right
directly
now.
related
Besides,
to the
okay, data
poles
again. Data.
from point to
I'm not
point.
asking you. How,
So
data.
if you
This is not-
guys
no.
have a
Data.
theory, how can you
Data.
have a complete theory if it's never been done
Oh,
at
you
the North
idiot.
Pole?
Who cares? To explain all
Exactly.
the others.
So
Data.
what you've done is you have a man-made construct.
Data. Stop.
You have a
Do not-
man-made
Data,
construct that is not
Stop.
based in science.
Stop.
It's a simple
Stop.
optical observation that
Stop.
you reified because you
Stop.
don't have Earth curvature.
Stop.
Now, what would validate
Stop.
this observation?
Stop.
What would validate this
Stop.
observation is physical
Stop.
Earth curve. You do not have it.
Stop.
So now you have to have an alternative theory. What is your alternative theory, gentlemen?
Data.
You don't have an alternative theory, do you?
No
Stop.
experiments are done at the North Pole.
Data.
Yeah, you saying all science is wrong then? You moron.
Data.
So again, if you have a theory on an oscillating pattern and it's not completed at the North Pole, then what theory do you have? It's an incomplete theory, right?
No, it's not, you moron.
The whole
Again,
reification
do not
is
tell me what my
you're
theory is.
trying
Tell me
to
what your
prove.
theory is.
The
Tell me
whole
what your theory
reification is
Data.
you're trying to prove
Data,
Earth
tell me what
curvature
your theory is.
by
Do
observing
not tell
a
me what my theory
man-made
is.
construct. That's
Do
what
not
you're
tell
trying
me
to
what my
do.
theory is. Tell me what your theory is, Data. What is your theory? How can you explain the motions of the focal
There
pendulum
is
on your
nothing.
flat stationary
There
Earth?
is nothing scientific at all, or worthy of hypothesis or theory regarding a man-made construct that has no scientific method whatsoever.
So I will
Number
take this
one.
as your answer. This is
Number
your answer.
one.
This is your
Number
answer,
one.
Data.
Number
Data.
one.
Data.
Number one. It's
Data.
never been done at the North Pole to
cares?
show a
Doesn't
true
matter.
precession of. It's never been done at the North Pole
It's been done at the
to
South
show
Pole.
a
It's
true
not.
precession of 15 degrees. Number one, it's never been done.
Been done at the South
Number
Pole, prove 15
two.
degrees.
Number two. It requires a man to start it, a man to create it, and a man to
All
reify it.
experiments do, you moron.
There is
All
no
experiments
science
are
behind it
You're
whatsoever.
saying the
They all
clocks
have
are bad?
implementation.
Hang on.
Jesus Christ. This
No,
is
Data,
longer-
listen to me.
Wait,
Data,
quiet,
Don,
quiet.
just
Is
shut
it
up for a
long-
minute. I want Data. I
Hey,
do not
listen,
want you to
listen.
tell me how I think the thing works. You have not
Let's look at
explained
all
how
the-
you think the thing works. You can't.
He's not
I will
right.
take your
Yeah.
answer. Hold on one second. I'll be done. I'll be done in 10 seconds. Everybody shuts up. Everybody shut up for 15 seconds and I'll be done. What I want from you, Data, if you haven't told me anything,
I've
okay, you
got
have
a
to shut up for
question.
15 seconds?
I've got a question.
Chill
I've
out.
got a
15 seconds,
question
and I will
for
get out of
Scout.
this room after 15. I'll tell you what, I will leave this room after a
No,
minute.
don't,
Get
you get
Data.
your 15 seconds.
Listen to me.
I'll leave now. Leave now.
Bye.
I will take this as your
Bye-bye,
answer, Data.
PNS.
No, go now.
Bye-bye,
I do not
PNS.
know, Data, this is your answer. As a flat earther, you do not know how, you cannot explain the focal pendulum, therefore I
Again,
must
it's
discredit it.
not science.
Right, okay.
It doesn't
Data?
mean anything.
Data,
It's
Data.
nothing but a
Okay, I'm going to stay
reification.
around until you give me a minute.
There is no
Uninterrupted
science in
time.
it.
Stop being a wanker.
There
Let's
is
look at
no
variable.
science in
You
it
are a complete
whatsoever.
Longer
total
string.
idiot, Data.
Longer string. Let's include a
You're being
longer
a
string.
git.
What happens?
You're being a git, Data. You don't like what he's
Long-
saying.
Nice
Therefore you
string.
hate him.
As a flat earther, you have no explanation as to the movements of the focal pendulum.
Do you know what's causing it? Man, that's what's causing it. Nothing to do with
No.
it.
Shows, can I ask you a question?
You are a total and complete asswipe.
Longer
You are-
Can I ask
string.
you a question, Shows? Shows, can I ask you a serious question? Wait a minute. Shows, can I ask you a serious
experiments
question?
are caused by
Sure,
man. you
go
moron.
ahead.
Right, let me ask Shows a question, Rumpus. Can I ask you a serious question, Shows?
Don was
Yes? No.
Yep, go.
Yeah, Don was actually
Go
here
ahead.
first trying to do it, actually.
All right, okay. Yeah, go for it. Go for it then. Whoever's,
But it was off topic,
go for it,
obviously.
Don.
I was gonna ask.
No, but I was going to ask, well, it was just a quick question. It was just a quick
Go
question.
ahead,
Like,
go ahead. I'll
Shells,
ask
are you on medication? Do you take
Oh,
medication,
Jesus.
Shells?
No, actually, I should be on
Thanks,
medication.
Barry.
I'd probably be better now if I
Alright,
was
hang
slightly
on, alright.
plastered.
Let
Because,
me
you know,
get
I
to
could kill a
Rumpus.
few brain cells. I could probably argue better with flat earthers.
Rumpus.
No, no, it's a serious question. Are you on medication?
Oh, I should be on alcohol right now for sure.
No, but I'm asking you, are you on medication? You are on medication, yeah?
No, actually. Thank you.
Well, what
Are
is it
you?
you take the medication
Yeah,
for?
you, Ali?
Are you
Yeah,
Alex?
what do you take the medication for, Shells?
He said
What
he
is it
did.
you
any
actually take it
medication.
for?
So what about you,
Well,
Ali?
you
You
do
on
it.
medication?
That's
You
what
on
someone
medication?
that's what someone that did take medication would say. He would
Oh,
take
my
medication.
So,
That's funny.
No, by
what
saying
is
that I
it?
don't take medication, it proves I do take
yeah, that's
medication.
the mission.
So you're
got
not
it.
on medication.
Yeah.
So
When did
you're
you
not.
stop beating
So,
your wife?
so
Allie,
you're
when did
not.
you
So
stop
you're
beating your
not.
wife?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
you're
think
not
we
on
can move on
medication.
from
Okay,
Allie,
I
here.
when
wanna
did you
get to
stop
the
beating
numbers.
your wife?
Yeah,
So you're
exactly.
not
Can
on
we move
medication.
on? Ali, could you stop being
Yeah.
a wanker and let Don
When did you
ask
stop
his
beating your
question?
wife, Allie?
Yeah,
Wait a
I
minute.
think we've shown. Chill. I think we've
I'm
shown
not
you.
married. I'm not married.
I can
Oh
see
my
why.
God. Yeah,
Right.
quite.
Okay. All quiet.
Let Don, please let Don
Rumpus.
speak.
Look, your
Don,
woman left you months ago, mate. Your
No,
woman
absolutely
left
not.
you.
no, my woman's
She did
very
shut the
devoted
door
to me.
though because I was
She's
yelling at you
fucking
guys.
jack.
That's
I'm a
She's
very
out of here.
devoted woman.
Anyway,
Don.
anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be quiet, Ali. You're just being a wanker now, so
All
let
right,
Don
so
speak.
hey, Rumpus. All right, so let's use the
Yeah.
black swan for an example.
Oh fuck, I'm out of here, guys.
Let's use the black
Bye
swan.
bye, penis.
Let's use the.
I'll wait for you to tell me how the focal pendulum works if you'd like.
So listen carefully. It's a reification. It's unscientific.
It's just
No,
a
it's not.
Has nothing. Listen,
That's it.
your idea of the
I do
pendulum
not want you to explain to
is
me
to
how I think
reify.
the focal pendulum works.
It's just
You
opposite
explain
what
how
you
the
say.
focal
Let me
pendulum
finish.
works on a flat
Let me
stationary
finish.
Earth. No,
So
you're telling me
let me
how I
finish.
think the focal pendulum
It
works, you
has
moron.
nothing to do
Data.
with the
Do
shape
not
of
tell
the
me how
Earth.
I think
Zero.
the focal pendulum
It's a
works.
man-made
Okay,
construct
so
that
your
you're
answer is
reifying. That's
as a
it.
flat earther, you have no clue
There
as
is
to how the
no
focal pendulum works.
accuracy in the
Therefore, I
pendulum
must.
because
there
the
is a complete-
theory is not completed.
The theory is
The
complete.
theory
There's a South Pole.
states that if it was at the North Pole, it would
There's a
precess
South
at 15
Pole.
degrees. There is
There's
no
a South Pole,
scientific
15
evidence for
degrees, and
that.
guess what?
None.
It rotated the opposite direction in the southern hemisphere.
Do you think all scientific experiments that we've established as being what we think to be true have been conducted at the North Pole just to make sure it happens there as well?
No, they must all be
Hang on,
false.
can I ask you some?
Yeah, they must
Hey,
all be
can I ask you a
false,
question?
So
Have you done the folklore? Hang on, question. Just wait. Have you done the folklore pendulum? I call it folklore, but have you done that? Folklore. Have you ever done?
The focal pendulum.
Foco is the guy's name.
It's folklore, he's saying.
Because it's wrong what you're saying.
Foco is the man's name.
Look, have you done it in a
Folklore, though, is
thunderstorm?
much.
Have you
it's
done
better-
it in a thunderstorm?
Done it in a thunderstorm. Actually, yeah, I've seen it done in a thunderstorm. Yeah, it thunderstorms quite a bit in Chicago. I know.
Mm-hmm. The lightning around, a lot of lightning.
Yeah, I didn't get zero effect on it
At all. You have evidence? You had a Gauss meter around it?
I had a Gauss meter on it.
Yeah.
But it didn't change its behavior, Don. So therefore, it's fine.
Well, I don't mean nothing. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the speed. Does it increase? Does it move
No.
faster?
Well, no, apparently it doesn't. No, it behaves. It does not change its behavior.
You guys have any evidence for this? You
Man,
guys
that's tough.
made a decision very quickly. Where's the evidence for
All
this?
right, they don't want to get on that. Hang on.
Shout
Let me
out
get to
Matrix
Rumpus real
Media.
quick. Rumpus,
Oh,
let's use the
it
Black
might.
Swan.
I don't know who might. It might be fairy dust. I mean, I need a fairy dust detector around
Oh.
it too, right? Media.
No,
And a unicorn detector.
A Gauss meter. I
I
like to
don't
do
think
Gauss
there's any
meter?
record of
And a
what it
and how about a radiometer in case to make sure that any
How about doing it in
radiation
the
in the
vacuum? How about doing it in the vacuum?
vacuum? Yeah, keep it. It would actually work better in a vacuum.
Well, the
I
trouble
thought you
with
were
that,
going shells. I thought you were going shells.
There is a potential problem with trying to do a focal pendulum in a vacuum, and that is to do a focal pendulum. You need it to be about 30 meters or more for your string,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah,
don't
do
think
we
there are
need
many
that?
vacuum chambers that tall.
No, we need
Longer
that big
the
one.
string,
We
better.
need that
Why
big
is
one that
that?
NASA has in.
Longer the string, better the motion.
No, no, there's
the
one
one
in
that
Europe,
that Glenn,
100 meter
at Glenn
tall.
Research Center. The one they dropped the feather in the bowling ball from.
No, there's a
Okay, so I want to go to the Black Swan
100
just real
meters.
quick. Okay,
So
so
they landed
Black
at
Swan, I'm outta
different
here, guys. I
times.
don't wanna talk about
Yeah, I
the
saw
Black
that.
in the Black Swan, do you include
Black
standard
Swan.
refraction?
No, it's not standard refraction. Of course not. It's not standard
Include
refraction. It's very extreme refraction.
Does the picture looks
Okay, cool.
standard to you?
That's
Okay,
why
cool,
it looks
cool.
like it
Rumpus,
does.
what's the
So, hang
difference
on.
between standard and extreme refraction? What's the difference?
You
They're not
look
really
at the
going to
picture,
do
you'll
that.
know.
So, can you draw a? Hang on.
Can I just answer Matrix point? Back to you in a second. Because extreme refraction is more considerable than I can show you. I tell you what, I can show you this visually. Perhaps that will help.
Yeah.
But what other
Can you-
factors?
wait, hang on,
what
hang
I'm,
on,
what I'm
hang on,
asking
hang
is
on,
what
hang on,
other
Matrix,
factors that
Matrix.
make something
There's
an
a reason
extreme
I did this.
refraction?
Can you draw a
Look.
tangent line to the geometric horizon in that photo?
Well, I'd have to work out where the geometric horizon was.
Well, then how can? But you can't do that because you're including refraction. How can you draw a tangent line to a geometric horizon that is refracted?
Well, yeah, that's right. You have a problem. You have to go and work out what the refraction is. Then you say, well, we know that the geometric horizon, say for instance, it's about the geometric horizon for a 6 foot person is about 3 miles away. So then you would have to say, look in your picture and say, what object is 3 miles? Or you could send out a boat or something and say, here we are. We know, or use Google Earth, and let's say you were doing it over water, but with things on it you could find the positions of. And then you could say 3 miles away is where the geometric horizon is.
That's begging the
and then
question.
you can then
But
see
how did you determine it was the 3 miles away with the whole refraction?
Yep. How do you get?
Because, hold on, I actually didn't understand what I was saying. Let's try again. With a geometric horizon, it's geometric, so the refraction's not involved. So we know that
It's a
the
fixed
Earth.
location.
Oh my God!
Right.
Can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Well, don't interrupt me then. Right. So a geometric horizon means that you can just deal with the geometry and you can forget about refraction. And with someone 6 feet high with a radius of a sphere of 6,371 kilometers, the geometric horizon is about 3 miles away. So if you can then say, right, where is an object in the Black Swan picture that's 3 miles away? That is where the geometric horizon will be. It doesn't involve visual, of course.
I just heard 3 assumptions.
You just made
3 assumptions.
Nearly there. Nearly
And
there.
passed it as an
Nearly
assertion.
there.
It's not there, but it's there.
Nearly there. The geometric horizon is not a visual horizon, therefore you can't see anything in the picture that indicates it. You have to work out where it is. If for some reason you're interested.
But the
Go ahead.
geometric horizon, the geometry is the thing in question. The same thing that you keep asserting.
Okay, here's the problem. Right. Well, no, it's not in question with this Black Swan. The geometric horizon is a term to describe.
Bro, you're in a flat Earth server. That's
you end
the
up
thing in question.
Can I just? Yeah, but there's another
Bro,
issue.
who
Yeah, we don't use
recorded
things
that?
like Black Swan. You don't try and work out where the horizon is when you get low down to 3 or 4 feet with them.
How do you end up with that?
Hold on. Can I
how
just
do you-
finish my goddamn point? The geometric horizon is a special term.
There's
to
no such
describe-
thing as
to
geometric
describe
horizon,
The horizon when there's no refraction. That's what the.
How
geometric
do you-
horizon is.
I thought you always have refraction, though. You said we always have
Yeah,
refraction.
exactly. Yes, yes.
Then how do you
How
figure
do
out
you
the one?
Find the
Geometric
horizon with refraction.
horizon if you have refraction.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. You have to say it again.
How do you draw a tangent line to the a tangent point? How do you get a tangent point to the geometric horizon if there's always refraction?
Well, when you say get a tangent point, I mean you can work out where the geometric
Not in your
horizon
maths.
is on.
Not in your maths.
How can
in
you work
nature.
it
That's
out?
how you have to do it.
How can
That's
you work
how
it
you have
out,
to do
Rumpus?
it.
No,
Rumpus,
not your
how
maths.
do you
nature.
work it out?
That's the only way of doing it.
It's don't
That's the only way.
So
it's only in
assuming it.
maths.
The only way.
Rumpus,
So
the only way to do it is to assume it. Guys, hold on. Let him repeat it. Let him repeat himself. The only way to do it is to assume it. Is that what you're saying? The
Correct.
only
So
way to
geometric
do it.
horizon-
is- Hold on.
Can I
I'm not
just-
done. The only way to
I
do
was
it
in
is
the middle
to
of
assume
answering.
it.
You said, "Can I answer?" And then you didn't interrupt my answer.
I want you to
Can I just
verify
get
what
my
I'm
answer?
saying. Verify
Yeah,
what
can I
I'm
get
saying.
my answer, and then you
It's
can
the
have a go at
only
it.
way to do it to assume it. Yes or no?
You calculated, yes, but it's not useful. You
He
can't
said
see
yes.
it.
Guys, he said yes.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
only way to do it is to assume it.
For the geometric horizon, yes.
So
The
you
geometric
cannot-
horizon.
Geometric horizon
That's a huge admission, guys.
Tangent point to the
That's a
geometric
huge
horizon
admission.
is always refraction.
We always have. It's not at all. I mean, I don't understand what you guys have a problem. The geometric horizon is the horizon.
Nice one,
that we
Matrix.
Big. The geometric horizon is the horizon you would
thank
see.
you,
Let's
Ali.
say you want. The geometric horizon is the horizon.
Notice
you would see.
Rumpus
Notice
Rumpus and the squeaky voice.
The geometric
Notice the squeaky voice.
horizon. The geometric
Yeah, that's
horizon.
when you know you've got him on the run,
geometric
Matrix.
horizon. The geometric horizon is the horizon that you would see if there was no refraction, i.e., no atmosphere. If you're on the moon,
Also, now
the
you're begging the
geometric
question.
horizon.
How do you
the
end up with
geometric
that
horizon on the
assertion?
moon? The geometric horizon on the
Rumpus,
moon.
how
would
do you
be-
end up with
the
that
geometric
assertion?
horizon on the moon?
How do
would
you
be
end up with that
exact-
assertion,
The
buddy?
geometric horizon on the moon
Yeah,
would be in
he's not
exactly
gonna
the same
answer.
place as it is visually, but
He's
on the
not
Earth,
gonna
as we have an
answer.
atmosphere, it's refracted. Go ahead.
How do you end up with that assertion if we always have
The
refraction?
only way you can
Rumpus?
show me a tangent
Second, I
point.
second Silent
fixed
Zero.
location
How do
is
you
in your
how do
math.
you know the
Hold on,
geometry of the
buddy.
moon?
Yeah, how do you end up with that assertion if we always have refraction, Rumpus?
Yeah, so how do you? It's only in their maths, man. That's the only way you get a tangent point to a fixed location is in your maths. You cannot show or demonstrate
No,
that
no,
in
no, that's
reality.
another. No, hold on.
You cannot
you've
do that
now
in
missed the
reality.
geometric horizon part.
If
I
there's
was
always
talking just
refraction,
about the
Rumpus.
geometric horizon.
Geometric
Yes,
horizon
the
is the
fixed
thing in
location is
question,
the
right?
tangent
Rumpus,
point.
Different from the apparent
Rumpus.
horizon.
The geometric horizon is the thing in
so it's there,
question,
but it's
right?
not there.
Right, let's try it again. If there
I
were
think
no
we need a
refraction-
Rumpus diagram. I think Rumpus
Yeah,
should get out
I've got
there.
one here. I've got one here. I was
Get it out. Get it
I
out.
think
I'm
if he
sharing
whips
the
out a
screen.
diagram, he's gonna
Hopefully
kill
No
himself.
fucking about, man.
He's gonna kill
sharing-
himself if he whips out the diagram.
Right here. Oh, someone was asking. This started off by asking me how can the black swan and the black swan refraction and standard refraction. And I'm showing it on screen now. So the red line.
That baseline looks straight though. That looks flat and level. That baseline. That baseline looks flat and level. Where's the bend?
The red line is the refraction. So here, the pink line. That's no refraction. That's zero.
That's a plane. That's a straight line. That's a level plane. Where's the curve?
So this
Rumpus.
is
Simple
no
request,
refraction.
Rumpus, when you're done.
Rumpus.
Simple request.
So this is no refraction. Is
There's
the
a curve.
purple line with zero. This
But you've
line
got
here
straight
is
baseline, Rumpus.
We don't live on models with this.
This
is a model.
is the red line
This is
is
your
standard
model.
refraction. The
We don't
red
live on
line
that, Rumpus.
is standard refraction.
We always have refraction.
The red line is standard refraction.
You
and
just, that's just an assertion, Rumpus.
But
How many miles is that over, Rumpus? How many miles?
The yellow from the red, from the blue. What is the thing that you use to determine the
in the
difference
black
between these
swan?
Guys.
And the refraction we saw in the black swan.
Can somebody
the
mute?
refraction we saw in the black swan is in somewhere between where K, which is the curvature of the light ray, of 1 and 2. It was somewhere in between these two levels of curvature.
Curve is spelled with a C, Rumpus, not a
So
K.
there's the difference. The red line
How
is
do you
standard
know
refraction.
this stuff, Rumpus?
So Don, the red line is standard refraction.
It's all
and
fucking
somewhere between
assertions.
1
I don't know
and
why you
2
guys are listening
is
to
the
this
red
dumbass.
is the curvature of the light ray for the
Yeah,
black swan.
I'm leaving.
Finish.
Fuck, man.
Rumpus, we understand the diagram. Thank you. Thank you very much for the diagram, Rumpus. Hold on.
Listen,
Thank you very much for the diagram. We understand it, right? Our question is, hold on, Rumpus, hold on. Our question is, how do you determine this, right? What separates
that's a different question.
Hold on. Rumpus.
No, Matrix,
how
you
do you
moved on.
determine the difference
I'll
between
answer
the
your question.
yellow,
Matrix,
the
I
red
will answer your
line,
question.
and the blue? How do you
Matrix,
determine that? Please
I
explain
will do that,
to us.
Matrix. I will do that, but I want to just make sure Don, who asked the question initially, whether he understands my answer. And then we can move on to your question.
Because we don't live in a
Well,
vacuum.
you asked me the difference
don't
between
live in a
standard
vacuum,
refraction and the refraction
Standard
of the
or
black
not,
swan, and I've
dude,
just
you still
shown you
cannot
the
draw the
difference.
point.
It's a difference in the curvature of the light ray. For the standard refraction, it's the red
So you
one.
can measure light?
And
Can you
for
measure
the
light?
and for the black swan, it's somewhere between K's 1, which is on the surface.
Nice
models,
unfalsifiable model.
Which follows the surface of the Earth.
Completely
or 2,
unfalsifiable nonsense.
It's just science. Yeah, I know.
No, it's not science. It's all on paper.
It is exactly
That's all
science.
it is.
There are people. It's
That's
just
all it
science.
is.
Yeah, I know.
So
Brandon,
it's
no,
just
you don't like that.
nonsense. It's just
Just
unfalsifiable
yeah, you
science.
regard science as
Okay,
nonsense,
so are
I
you
know
saying
that.
that the Earth is unfalsifiable then? The shape of the Earth is unfalsifiable?
No, it's not. It's perfectly
Well,
verifiable.
you sure the fuck can't do it with an
There are
optical
lots of different
using this
ways.
model.
Go get
There
your,
are lots
your
of
data.
different ways of verifying the shape of the
No,
Earth.
I don't want to hear
But
about
using
different
a
ways
black-
of verifying the shape of the Earth. I want
Well,
to
wait,
talk
hold
about
on.
this optical model
said-
you're setting forward.
No. You said the shape
And you're
of the
trying
Earth
to
was
falsify the
unfalsifiable.
black
And I'm
swan
saying there are
using this
lots of different ways
nonsense,
of doing
which
it.
creates a totally
There are lots
unfalsifiable
of
model.
different ways of doing it, but this way is problematic.
You hear this mess.
Yes, agreed.
Optically-
And we agreed the other night. We agreed on this the other night that you cannot prove the shape of the Earth optically. Did we not?
Well, you can certainly get. It is problematic to do it
Uh-huh.
because of refraction,
Yeah.
but you can still do a very good job.
You do a very good job, but it's problematic.
What's the margin
You
and
can't
error
draw a
on
point,
that
Rumpus,
good
right? I
job?
just want to get that clear.
If that's a good job, Rumpus, I'd hate to see you doing a bad fucking job. I'm telling you.
I want to hear. I want to hear.
That's what I wanted to ask Ali B. What is the
don't
margin and
understand.
error on that good job?
Draw the point.
Put it like this.
It's a big one, Matrix.
Put it
I
like
just
this.
wanna hear from you.
Surveyors,
Plus or minus.
using geodetic surveyors who've had to map
Oh,
out things
geodetic.
very, very accurately. And for instance, in the UK in the 1930s, they did it using normal optical surveying techniques, and they established the
Rumpus,
length
you don't know
between,
fuck all about
between
surveying.
Land's End and
You know
Johnny
nothing.
Brook.
Stop talking
And
about
the
a subject you
GPS
have
coordinate
absolutely
system,
no
the GPS
experience
stuff
in
that we use
whatsoever.
now has agreed that that was within
stop
3 or
trying to
4
sound like
inches
an
of being
expert.
correct.
Dude,
So you can do it optically.
No, you
very
You're
can't.
just a gish
No, you
galloping
can't.
fuck.
You're just a surveying and science denying moron. I can't help that.
Right, wait a minute. Right, Rumpus, you say it. Right, here we go. Right, so when you get a theodolite, you set up your theodolite, you send your chain boy off, he's got his staff, he's got his wee stadium, right? and you look through that and say it's at 6 feet 3 inches, right? 6 feet 3 inches. You see the mark on the steady, it's 6 feet 3 inches, right?
Yeah.
So you get him to move another 50 meters back or whatever, right? 50 meters back, and you see it's changed to 6 meters and 50 centimeters. What part of that difference is the curvature?
Depends
and
on
how
how
would you
far it
prove
is
it?
away. It's not
And how
very
would you
much.
prove it? And how would you prove it?
Well, you can prove the curvature of the Earth in numerous ways. So we know.
No,
it
no,
exists.
no, no, no. I'm not. I'm talking about fucking surveying. You're looking through an optic. You're looking at a staff that is attached to the fucking ground. It's showing elevation, right, which is 6 foot 3 inches.
Well, you can
and he
demonstrate.
goes back,
if you go-
and then he
get on
goes
with it
back
then.
50 meters.
Yeah, you've done this. We know what you're going to say. We understood
Right,
what you're
okay.
saying, Ali.
So how do you measure the curvature?
Right. You can determine if he
How
goes
do you
sufficient.
determine?
I'm trying to answer you. I'm trying to answer you.
Go
If
on
you
then.
wanted it, if you insisted
I'll
on
stop
using
you if you go off the track.
Be quiet, you twat. Stop
I'll
interrupting
stop
me,
you if you
little.
go off track.
Stop interrupting me, you
No,
rude
just
little
warning you.
moron. Be
No, I was
quiet, you
just warning
twat.
you.
Be
I
quiet,
was
you
just
twat.
warning you.
Be quiet, you rude little obnoxious twat. So
Fuck,
what
I
you
was
could do,
intelligent
shut up,
not
you
half an
rude
hour
little
ago.
obnoxious
I
twat.
was one of the
Ask the
smartest
question,
flat earthers in
and
the
I'm going
earth.
to answer. Shut up, you rude little twat.
You
So
little
what you can
twat.
do, for instance, you can
Yeah, go on.
do what I'm going to be doing with my elevation tests over 6 miles. You could make this guy go even further with a bigger staff, and you would see that he'd be obscured by the horizon. So he could go over some water. He could go on a boat, and you would see that he would start to disappear.
Yeah, but you wouldn't use a theodolite for looking over miles.
Yes, you would, because you want to know where the horizontal is, and that's what I'm
No,
going to be
you
doing.
wouldn't. No, you certainly wouldn't.
Yes,
no,
you
said,
would.
how
Establishes
could
a
you
horizontal.
determine that if there was what horizon would it be looking at? The geometric or the fucking
You're also looking
refractive?
at the visual one, but you'd still see that he'd be going
Oh,
over
the visual one, right? But then it's different from the geometric. How would you determine?
Yeah, the apparent and
how
the
would you
apparent
determine?
due to refraction, the apparent and geometric horizon are not in the same
So
place.
no,
They
no
can be
tangent
quite
point,
close
huh?
to the same
So no
place.
tangent point, Rumpus.
Sorry?
No tangent point, huh? No
There's a
fixed
tangent point.
location.
Yes, there
Where
is.
is it? How do you include?
This is the thing that Nathan Oakley doesn't understand.
Not at miles, Rumpus. Not at miles. You wouldn't use a theodolite over 100 meters.
Yeah. Yes, you can do that.
Max. No, you fucking can't.
Right.
No,
this
you
is what
fucking
don't understand. Yes, you
no,
can.
you don't understand. I've used it. I've worked
No,
with
I
it.
do.
I worked
Right.
as a fucking chain boy, and I used it with an engineer,
Yeah,
and
you're a
I've used
moron, though.
theodolite.
You didn't understand what was
I've
going
used
on.
it. I've set
You didn't
lines. I've
understand
set
what was going
heights.
on.
I've transferred
understand
lines.
what
I've
was going
transferred
on.
heights.
Yeah,
Absolutely
yeah.
did.
Yeah,
Absolutely
and the
did.
reason and the reason, do you know why?
Absolutely did.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're a moron. Do you know why that they only use short distances, say of 100 meters? I'll tell you the
Yeah,
answer.
because I'll
Because
tell
of
you
the
the answer.
curvature of the
No,
Earth,
let me
you
answer.
moron.
No, shall I tell you
Yes.
why?
And
Because
I'll tell you,
they
you
can't
claim
read.
you don't
they can't
use.
read the numbers on the.
because it refracts, because of refraction, and you
No,
can't
not
trust.
because it refracts. No.
Well, it is. It
Did you
fucking
know?
is.
No.
Did you know that to measure Everest,
Don't
the
say
height of
no.
Everest? Did you know that to measure the height of Everest, they had to make an observation of over 50 miles using a theodolite, and they did so and got it perfectly on the ball.
There you go.
So
exactly.
you do use theodolite more than 100 meters away if you're a geodetic surveyor and you allow for the curvature of the Earth. But you were a planar surveyor and you're a moron, and so you had no idea what was going on because you're
What
a
do you mean,
moron.
A planar surveyor? Oh, so I'm a surveyor now.
Well, are you in part of a planar surveying operation, you moron? Jesus Christ.
No, what do you mean a planar? What's the difference between a planar?
You walk in a restaurant,
planar
you're
surveyor
washing
doesn't go
dishes.
far
That's
enough.
what
You
you
need
do.
to take into consideration the curvature of the Earth.
You're
But
a
if you're
diesel.
doing something like making a 40-mile observation to the top of Mount Everest, as they did in the 19th century, you do have to allow for the curvature of Earth, and they got it absolutely
Who done the survey?
correct.
Rumpus. Who done the survey? Who done the survey then, Rumpus? Who done the
Everest
survey? Wait a
did
minute.
it, you moron.
What, he measured Everest? Mount Everest?
Yes, you moron. That's why it's named Everest. You
No,
stupid,
it's not.
ignorant,
No, it's not.
moron.
No, it's not. I'll bet you £100. I'll bet you £100 right now, Rumpus. Everest, the guy Everest did not measure Mount Everest.
He was part of the team. I don't know whether he.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, he fucking wasn't. And I'll bet you £100. I'll bet you right. Stop. I'll bet you £100 right now.
He was in charge of the whole.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. Well,
wrong again. Wrong again.
So what role are you claiming he did play then?
He never played any. He'd retired, and it was another guy that took over from him, done the North India. Everest told me done a certain part of India, and he fucking retired. And it was another.
So
it was another. He never.
Okay,
my bet was £100. He did not measure Everest, which he never.
I didn't say he's
you did say that.
No,
you certainly did.
Well, okay, he was responsible for the institution.
I love this.
He was in charge. Whether or not the moment that he measured Everest.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Well,
he had nothing to do with Everest. He had absolutely. Go and read about it. It's called the Great India Survey, my friend. Go and read the book about it, which I've done.
In which case, right,
and that's how I know.
Then you will know. Then why did you make the claim you can't use a theodolite for more than 100 meters? If you read that thing, you would know that they measured Everest from a distance of about 40 miles and got it right, which contradicts your earlier point. You can't use a theodolite more than 100 meters. You utter moron.
How did they verify it? Who verified it?
It's been subsequently verified. GPS.
Who by? Go now. Who by?
GPS. Do you want me to give you the name of the GPS operative?
GPS doesn't work.
People have been there and used GPS have verified it.
GPS is global positioning system, not height. It has fuck all to do with height. It doesn't tell you the height. GPS doesn't tell you height. No, it doesn't. It tells you your fucking coordinates where you are. No, it doesn't.
Yes, it
That's
does.
Not GPS.
Right, anybody on the panel, has anybody on the panel
I'll bet you another £100. Right. You already owe me £100.
GPS receivers do not.
I'll bet you another £100. I'll bet you another £100 that GPS didn't give you the height of it. Another £100.
I don't know how.
If you win that one, we're quits, right?
Other people,
you owe me £100.
I'm sure, can tell you, fellow flat earthers, will tell you.
Census means
George, and I happen to know that George Natty,
a very famous guy, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci once said, "Just because everybody says it's so, doesn't necessarily mean it is so." And that's the philosophy I've taken through my fucking life since I read it.
Right, so you are going to deny the existence of GPS receivers giving you your height?
No,
is that the case?
It doesn't give height.
Right, so you're saying the GPS
it's not the
do not give you height.
The GPS system does not give you height.
Right, so if I have a GPS receiver, it doesn't tell me what my height is then. Is that correct?
That won't be the GPS.
It is the GPS. If you get a GPS
it doesn't
receiver,
do GPS.
it tells you your height.
Right, it doesn't measure it.
It does.
No, it doesn't. That input has already been put into it. No. That input has already been. The heights have been put in from a normal survey above.
It doesn't know. So with a GPS receiver, it doesn't.
It's been done. Look, it was surveyed geodetically. They established the heights. All that data, all the heights get fed into that system, and your satellites that send you back the GPS coordinates. It gets translated into a ball.
You're completely wrong.
GPS doesn't know. Look, GPS does not know it's going round a fucking ball. If you believe it's a ball, it doesn't know what.
It's fundamental to it, you moron.
No, it fucking doesn't, and it doesn't measure
That's
curvature.
why it's called global positioning system, as in a globe.
A position.
If you'd read any surveying books, I mean, for instance, I've got one here, surveying book, which goes into great detail about how GPS works. And they absolutely rely on
all the data. It doesn't measure anything. All it does is send you back.
It measures. How do you think it works out where you are if it doesn't measure anything, you twat?
It's a coordinate. It's not a vertical.
How does it work out where? How do you work out where you are?
A Cartesian planar geometry.
It's not planar geometry. It's 3D.
It doesn't know it's going round a ball. It is.
Why you guys so wrong on this?
Just because it returns
3D coordinates. These guys know absolutely
how can they be so wrong?
No, you know nothing about this.
You're acting right now, Rippers. You're a Dunning-Kruger.
Hold on, I need to sort of alley.
You're a Dunning-Kruger guy right now.
It does return 3D Cartesian orthogonal coordinates.
No.
It then uses, yes, it does, and then it works out from the WPS84 model WGS84 model, and then it works out your height dynamically from your
GPS doesn't give
3D
you the height,
coordinates against the model, the WGS84 spherical model of
Where's the
ellipsoid
globe,
of the Earth.
Rumpus?
All right. And it does that dynamically. And the reason we know this is because if you go to your Ordnance Survey map and you go and compare it with your
That's
GPS
exactly where they
it'll
got
give
the
you a
data
different
from.
height. It'll give you a different value than it does on the maps because it uses a different system, you moron. In some places, it's 100 meters difference. Some places in Canada have a difference of 100 meters between the GPS height and the or the equivalent of the Ordnance Survey height because they use a different system.
Exactly, but
right,
the
no, you say the same. You say it works out on the map.
The difference is though, the Ordnance Survey was a physical measurement. The GPS is not a physical fucking measurement, so they got all the data.
Do you realise that the satellites
and
and the GPS system do not know where the person is who's taken the measurement? So your system would require your handset to have all the information of all the maps around the world in it to the resolution of 0.5 meter, which they do not. The handset you've got simply works out itself dynamically. The satellites do not know where you are, so they cannot transmit the map data I think you're claiming they're transmitting. They don't do that. The handset does all the work.
That WGS84 system is no good for local measurements. If you want an accurate measurement, you don't know it's not. You don't even use that system. You use a local system. It's NADS.
No, you're getting confused between GPS and... You're talking about the ellipsoid models. Yes, you are. That's not the system of GPS. GPS uses a universal one. And indeed, you're correct in saying there are more accurate local systems, but that's not the one that the GPS receiver you have.
Which is based on the supposition
it's
it's a globe.
Not use local geodetic models. It uses the standard ellipsoid model.
Yeah, which has never been proved.
WGS84.
And that's why you get the difference between a physical
right, so you're
measurement,
accepting then that it doesn't do what you said. You claim that the GPS receiver did not give you a height, did not work out, but somehow worked out from some map data that it knew because it knew where you were. It doesn't do that because that requires to have the information. That would mean the GPS handheld receiver would have to have a model of the Earth at amazing resolution inside it, and it doesn't have such things. It just has the WGS84 model and the position from the satellites, and then it dynamically gives you the height, which is different from the height you would get if you were to use a map or a more accurate system.
Which is using height above sea level, right?
No, it's not using the height above sea level. That's exactly what it doesn't do, because the GPS ellipsoid is not the same as mean sea level. My God. You don't know anything about this, do you?
Right. So it's different. So there's two different models that they decide to use, and Both of them work.
They are different. The Ordnance Survey, for instance, in the UK, which is the mapping system for people who don't know about that, that is based on the mean sea level at Newlyn in Cornwall, and all our elevations you see on maps. All our maps are relative to this mean sea level in Newlyn.
You've been studying.
I still want to see how this proves the shape of the Earth, Rumpus.
Well, he's asking me a different question. Well, he's asking me a different question. We were talking about GPS.
I apologise for taking it off. I apologise for taking it off.
All is well, man.
Right. So, someone was asking me about tangents and curves. I think.
Yeah, you can't. You can't draw a tangent point to the geometric horizon.
Here we go. Well, you can't. Well, when you say draw, you can't. Unless you're not physically drawing. You mean there is.
You can't. You can't measure a tangent point to the geometric horizon because we live in an atmosphere. You know what globers say now?
You'll
probably agree with this. Well, if we remove the atmosphere, we could.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what you have to do...
Isn't that begging the question, Rumpus? Because we do have an atmosphere. So can you conclude that?
Right, but you can make allowances for it if you wanted to.
That's called pseudoscience.
No, it's not. We know how the physics are there.
Presupposing?
You mean you've demonstrated you don't know anything about science on numerous occasions. You can't even do basic trigonometry, we've established. But we do know the physics there. We do know the refraction that can occur, so we can make allowances for it. And this is what surveyors do. Surveyors make allowances using standard refraction, that line that I drew in red and you can see here, that I showed before. That's the standard refraction that surveyors use to get reasonably close to the geometric values that they're interested in.
So that's begging the question. That's presupposition.
Well, no,
right?
they know. Well, we know it's a sphere, so they can make allowances for it.
Oh,
they
you know
know.
it's a
We
sphere.
know that the Earth is a sphere. That's
You
been
know it's a
established in many
sphere-
different ways.
You know it's a sphere because you can see it, but you can't see it.
No, there are many different ways of establishing that the Earth is a sphere. You're talking about the geometric horizon. That's another issue. And if you want, as I say, if you want to use the Al-Biruni technique, get up a mountain and then measure the horizon,
theorem?
you will get the geometric horizon is within 5% of the position of the apparent horizon. So you can get within 5% of the radius of the Earth by making an Al-Biruni type measurement. But what you don't want to do is to get down low within a few feet of the ground where you're going to get black swan type refraction events. You want to avoid that if you're trying to measure the radius of the Earth. But you can, so when you say get a tangent, you assume if you have, so if you're going to do an Al-Biruni measurement, you assume that what you're looking at
What
is the
about
geometric
Pythagorean
horizon.
theorem?
Sorry?
Pythagorean theorem.
It's nothing to do with Pythagoras.
All right, hang on. I'm
You
pull it
don't
up.
know the
Then.
difference between that and trigonometry, do you?
That's a cult. That was a cult.
God, you don't know the difference between trigonometry and Pythagoras, do you? Jesus Christ. Right, so I can show you what the unrefracted, here we go, I've got a picture here.
What about triangulation? Rumpus? Do you know about that? Triangulation?
I
Do you know what that is?
do remember about 2 years ago, I had to explain it to you when you didn't understand how you can measure the distance
Is
thing
that
for
correct?
triangulation. You got it.
Not me.
I had to
Not me.
explain it to you slowly.
I know it. Not
but you
me.
can't have
So
more
you
than
didn't.
180
Well, you
degrees.
didn't
No,
know
I
2
think you've
years
got
ago.
one of these false. I think you've got one of these false memories.
No, it's
about
absolutely.
triangulation.
I remember at length you were getting confused about the baseline, and I had to explain it to you slowly. I mean, you did. I think someone else was also in the conversation who didn't understand. You actually said, you sort of implied that you understood parts of it, but you didn't understand the explanation I was giving about triangulation.
I think you're talking a load of shit. I know what triangulation is.
Anyway, okay. Well, what do you want to know?
No. Wait a minute. I use that in my job.
Well, you didn't understand it 2 years ago.
Well, I've been using it for fucking 35 years of my fucking working life, man.
Well, okay. Well, you didn't be.
No, okay. So tell. All right.
Anyway, what do you want to talk about? Let's forget the memories. What do you want to talk about?
See how Rumpus just made shit up.
No, it's perfectly true. I just happen to have a very good memory, and I remember describing it to you at length. What do you want to know about triangulation, Ali? Or we want to talk about this refraction business? You interrupted me. Actually, explain to Don about this 90.
Don's talking to now. I would.
Yeah, here we go then. Right. So here's the situation. So this is a case with an observer here, and we have the black line, which is a straight line, which will only happen in. Ouch! Sorry, my back gave me a jolt there. Which will only occur in the case of no refraction, i.e., no atmosphere. That's what this black line is, and that will meet. Here's the geometric horizon here, at this point here, where the ship is. Now, the apparent horizon, which is where the curved light ray occurs, touches this. And this is a tangent point, so you don't need to have a line. It can be a curve also that touches at a tangent, because you can have tangent points, but you only need to the point of contact is the only thing that needs to be a tangent. So here we've got a curved line. This red line, this one here. Oh, let me just go in. This red line here. Go in a bit more. So this red line here, this one here that I've got here, that is the path of the light ray from the base of the lighthouse, and it goes over
are
here.
you presupposing light is bending down or up? Which way is it bending?
It bends down.
How do you know it's not bending up?
Because that's what we experience.
Did you measure the light? Did you measure it?
Has been done, yeah. No, I haven't personally done it. I'm about to to do that in my little test in Bedford Levels. But we know that the physics says that it will things. I mean, I can explain to you why light bends downwards towards the denser atmosphere.
No, we don't want an explanation. We want a measurement of it. How would you measure it? How would you measure it, Rumpus? How would you measure the light?
hold on. We got a problem with someone who doesn't understand that light.
No, we got a
bends
problem
down.
with you trying to measure the light.
No, hold on. We got a fundamental problem.
I'm wondering how you measure the light, Rumpus.
Hold on. I'm going to explain. I can very quickly explain to you here why light bends down.
No, we don't care about your explanation. We want to know how
Well,
do
we
you
do,
measure it.
Well, I don't.
No, I
happen to
don't.
have,
We want to know
it's
how you
dark
measure
here.
it.
Jeremy, it's dark here. I can't measure anything.
Jeremy,
So,
he can't even get a tangent point to the
here we go.
geometric
Here we
horizon.
go,
Rumpus,
Tom.
you couldn't measure your dick.
Gentlemen,
Yeah,
gentlemen,
Hey, Rumpus,
that is
too
can I
big,
ask
I know.
you? I'm going to ask you a
It's
question,
not-
Rumpus.
perfect
Where's the
common
Hold on, I'm
convergence?
answering Don.
segue
I'm answering
into
Don here. I'm
the
explaining
Where's
why
the
end
light
of
the
the
bends
show.
convergence
I'll
of
let
light?
you guys
Yeah, I'm in
continue.
the middle of
Thanks for
explaining
joining
to
the
Don.
panel. Appreciate
Can
it.
you decide what we talk?
Okay. We'll just let those guys go on about their merry night. We don't need to do final thoughts tonight, I don't think. Do you guys think? Nah, I don't think so. Did I miss a super chat somewhere along the line? Oh shit. Asking, I'm thinking maybe instead of listening to Rumpus, we could just take a hammer to our less dominant hand repeatedly. What do you think? Yeah. I could do that. That'd be a good trade. Just 2 or 3 blows though, just enough to where you can only focus on the pain and not what you're hearing. That would work out well. For some reason, whoever super chatted me, it's not showing up in the damn thing. Maybe I read it already. I don't know. But I apologize for that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Whoever that was, I'll find out and call it out the next show since it's not showing it to me at all. But anyway, have a good night. Have a good weekend, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you for coming and listening instead of going somewhere else and watching something else. So I appreciate it. And shout out to the mods for keeping the chat in line. Seemed like a nice calm night. It was a nice calm first half of the show. Instead, until certain folks showed up. But that's okay. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye.
Can I speak now?